NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing from 1948 to 1998.
What an exciting finish to that Pepsi 400 in 1994 as Jimmy Spencer ekes out a victory over Ernie Irvan by 8 thousandths of a second.
8 thousandths of a second. And Ernie Irvan, after this race, will have the points lead. He has an 88-point lead on Dale Earnhardt, trying to win that Winston Cup Championship in 1994.
However, when time went along, Earnhardt emerged as the champion that year, and a young driver named Jeff Burton was named Rookie of the Year. Now we jump ahead to August of 1995, and again we go back to Bristol Motor Speedway and a night race that was delayed by rain, but it was well worth waiting on.
Oh, man, what a race this was. Mark Martin would be on the pole. Terry Labonte would be on the outside pole. And, folks, I think this was a full moon, and the Wolves were out on this Saturday night.
Yeah, it was raining, but the full moon was definitely out. August 26th of 1995, and the Goody's 500 from Bristol International Raceway. The ESPN2 NASCAR Marathon continues.
They call it Victory Lane. It is the ultimate goal for a stock car competitor, and arguably there is no more hallowed ground here at Thunder Valley, Bristol International Raceway, than this little circular checkered flag patch in the infield. Now, just moments from now, 36 cars will take the green flag. But about 3.5 hours from now, one battered driver will roll what's left of his 3,400-pound stock car to where I'm standing, victorious here at Bristol, Tennessee. We've already had one victory celebration this weekend, that occurring last night, the Food City 250, when Steve Grissom, former Busch Series champion, came from far back in the field, 28th starting spot, to collect his second victory in a row here at Bristol, Tennessee. But that was only 250 laps. Tonight, 500 grueling laps on the 3.5-story high banks here, the place they call Thunder Valley. And the one driver who survives, well, he'll collect the lion's share of the $1 million plus purse, which he'll take to the bank.
Before they can take their winnings to their local banks, they first must conquer the high banks of Bristol. 36 degrees, allowing the drivers to circulate this half mile in under 16 seconds. And as we saw last night, that can cause problems for even the most experienced drivers. And even though Chad Little rallied to finish fourth last night, he says he can't imagine how these Winston Cup drivers complete 500 laps here at Bristol.
John, I always thought they called this place Thunder Valley because of all the loud rumblings from those Winston Cup machines. But it's not that noise. It's that noise that's going to come from all these folks here surrounding Bristol tonight. These loyal race-loving fans are wedged into every inch around this half-mile facility. Everybody's got a ticket, but they won't be using their seat because they're here to see 500 laps of fast and sometimes violent racing action, and they can see that best standing up. 70,000 plus here to share the excitement and emotion of Bristol, Tennessee with you in the best seat in the house.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to Bristol Raceway in Tennessee for live coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Goody's 500. And for the 22nd time in 1995, the green flag is about to come out, and looking at the quest for the Cup standings, we show that Jeff Gordon is still on top. The interval between Gordon and second place Sterling Marlin just 167 points. And down through the top 5, Ted Musgrave trails by 360. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. Keep your fingers crossed. We're going to need a lot of luck to get this thing in here tonight because it's been raining. Not a heavy rain by any means. In fact, hardly enough to really make a difference. So we hope that we can get this whole thing in here tonight. Well, the key word here at Bristol is survival. Jeff Gordon won this race in the spring, but last year in this event, look what happened to him. On lap 222, not halfway through, he was nailed, hit the wall on the inside, finished in 32nd position, and came out with only 72 points. So if he is going to win the Winston Cup Championship this year, he has to have a good night here tonight. Jerry Punch, this thing is not decided by any means.
Well, Bob, the man you're looking at is one of his victories. You said one of his 5 victories on the season came here at Bristol, Tennessee. And Jeff, there are a lot of people in the garage area, people at home who say, hey, you can mail in that Winston Cup Championship. It's a done deal. Gordon's going to win it. But they must forget that we're at Bristol, Tennessee, next week at Darlington. And in 5 previous races at both racetracks, you've had 1 finish. Of course, that 1 finish came back in April, and that was a win.
Yeah, we learned a lot there. But, you know, there's 10 races and 10 tough races. You know, especially here, it's so hard just to finish this race. And, you know, nobody right now can afford to fall out because those are pretty valuable points that you can lose. But, you know, just as easy as it is for anybody else to have a bad run, it's just as easy for us. You know, we just pray to God that, you know, things are going to continue to be consistent for us the rest of the year. But this is one place we got to conquer because, you know, we've only done it one time. We found out what happened when we did it that one time. But, you know, just to have us a good, consistent finish would mean a lot here. And if you're there the last 100 laps, who knows what can happen.
Hey, the guy himself says the race is not over till it's over. And, folks, 5 times he started the race here, 4 times he had, I mean, don't mean to say it, but DNFs means he did not finish. The same thing at Darlington next week, 4 DNFs and 5 starts. And one thing this racetrack will teach you guys, there's no place to hide. And, of course, you just can't afford to ride. So watch this guy tonight. He needs to finish to have a shot at that championship. Let's go to Benny and Ned.
Hey, Jerry, let's face it. If anybody is going to catch Jeff Gordon, if Sterling Marlin, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, he's got to have a problem. 167 points out. Sterling Marlin can finish all 10 races, but Jeff Gordon, if he finishes right in front of him, he's going to be the champion. Got to have some problems. And this race here in Bristol and next week at Darlington, the 2 toughest racetracks on the circuit to finish. Jerry was talking about running and hiding. You know, you can't afford to hide because someone will run over you from the back. If you try to run, you'll run over somebody in the front. Now, this is a tough little racetrack.
Oh, it is tough, and you consider the competition is so close, too. Less than 1/3 of a second separates first and last place in the qualifiers, so that means all the cars are running basically the same speed. So it's not only a drag on you physically. I mean, you really take a physical beating on this racetrack. You know that. I know that, even though the banks were not as high back when I raced. But still, you take a tremendous beating. But the mental strain here is just as demanding as the physical strain. So, you know, it's a tough night on them. A lot of fatigue involved. And for more on that, let's go to the pits and John Kearney.
You know, Ned, not only the forces acting on you in making these turns in the 36-degree banking, but also the hot air. It's a muggy night here at Bristol. That comes into the car, the drivers breathe it, and yes, that's going to wear them out. They are going to get tired. But several drivers here today have a little bit of a new innovation. Rusty Wallace among them. It's, well, I'd like to show it to you, but because it's slightly raining now, he's got the car cover on, but there's a little box inside, and basically what it is, it's an electric air conditioner. Warm air goes through the box, comes out cool. If it were 100 degrees, it could knock it down to 70 degrees. That goes up, connected to Rusty's helmet. He breathes in cool air. That keeps him feeling fresh all night long. Rusty hopes it helps him breathe easier this evening. And for more on other people who are breathing a little bit easier right now, let's go to Bill Weber.
John, a big breath of fresh air for Ward Burton. He is released by Alan Dillard Racing on Monday, but on Wednesday of this week, he hooked up with Bill Davis and the MBNA Pontiac, and that's where he'll be spending the rest of his season. But that's just the beginning of it. Greg Sachs has moved into Ward's old ride. Sachs moves out of the 32 Chevrolet and into the Hardy Chevrolet. Jimmy Hensley moved into the 32 car. Silly season is officially underway. And if you don't think there's pressure to perform on some of these drivers, among the names that did not make this race here at Bristol tonight, Todd Bodine and Kyle Petty.
We are on hold at the moment. As you can see, the rain is coming down. It's not a hard rain by any means, but it is enough to postpone the start of this event, which was officially supposed to get underway at 20 minutes till the hour. But the track is a little bit wet. The trucks are out there. The fans certainly are here, and they're hoping to see the action tonight. We are on the northern edge of the remnants of the latest hurricane, and all day the rain held off, at least for the most part. But now it is falling. Hopefully, within the next few minutes, it'll move out of here, and we'll be able to get this race started. We will be here when it rains, they got lights here, so we can go all night if we have to get this thing in. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more live coverage of the Goodies 500 from Bristol. Just a sample of what you look forward to in the next 3.5 hours, and the news just keeps getting gooder and gooder here at the Goodies 500. The drivers were called to their cars, and now the engines have been fired, and soon we will be moving them out onto the racetrack and hopefully getting this race underway. Yes, Pete.
Well, was that a play on our sponsor, Goodies?
Yes. Oh. I wouldn't use that program under normal circumstances.
But it is getting gooder and gooder, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Let's just get this thing in is all I'm hoping, because it is fun here under the lights. If it's postponed tonight, they're probably going to run the race tomorrow afternoon, and it just isn't the same as seeing these cars run under the lights here at Bristol.
Because they run so fast around this high bank track, and yeah, the sparks fly and the glittering off the lights. It is a beautiful sight.
And we can see all the tarps on the pit road trying to keep that pit road just as dry as they possibly can, so if they have to make a pit stop, they will not slide through. And see Lake Speed, Spam car, Derek Cope, Ed Musgrave, Derek Cope in the 12.
Well, a special guest is on hand here tonight here at Bristol International Raceway. He is a United States Senator. As a matter of fact, he is the senior senator from Tennessee, and he was elected last November to fill the last 2 years of Vice President Al Gore's unexpired term. Let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch with this guest.
And it's certainly a pleasure to have the Grand Marshal for tonight's Goodies 500, U.S. Senator Fred Thompson, Republican from Tennessee, with us. And Senator Thompson, glad to have you here. And you've been a big supporter of stock car racing for many years.
Yeah, I have. Ever since I was growing up over in Lawrence County, and we used to go out with my daddy those old dirt tracks. And it really warms my heart to see how NASCAR has come along and become such an American institution. And I'm a big fan.
So much heritage for the sport, particularly here in Bristol, Tennessee. I mean, this state, so many drivers, their backgrounds starting out in Tennessee, and this racetrack in particular, probably one of the favorite tracks of fans all across the country.
Yeah, well, you know, it's the fastest half mile that there is, and it's becoming a real sports car mecca. And I'm proud that we've got it here in Tennessee. It's getting better every year, and looks like it's going to continue to get bigger every year. I think we're going to add more seats and going to be approaching, what, 100,000, I think, by next year. And we've got a long waiting list, and it's, you know, it's a truly American sport, and this is truly an American all-time facility here that's being developed, and I'm really proud of it.
Now, folks, you may be familiar with this gentleman. He has a very successful political career, obviously as a senator from Tennessee. But prior to that, the multi-talented senator was an actor and was involved in Days of Thunder. And, of course, I had a small part in that. But he played Big Bill France in Days of Thunder, and made those tough decisions. And hopefully we'll get a tough decision tonight, be able to get a great race here in Tennessee. Bob?
Well, no Days of Thunder tonight. It's Nights of Thunder, and we're getting ready to go.
And a couple of cars, Greg Sachs, who qualified 21st, and John Andretti, who took a provisional. Both those cars missed the driver's meeting. And will have to fall to the rear of the field.
John Andretti isn't going to fall far, though, because he was supposed to start 34th, so he goes back to the last row instead of the next to last row.
And they will do that as soon as...
There's Steve Grissom, who's won the race last night here.
Yep, in Chevrolet number 29. And after the race was over, of course, we interviewed him in Victory Lane and everything. He seemed to be fine, but he was very exhausted, and I guess had to have a little bit of medical care. But everything okay now, of course.
And Bill Weber has an update on the situation.
Well, guys, this is his Winston Cup crew chief, Brian Frazier. Brian, let's find out first, how is your driver? He had an exhausting but victorious night here on Friday.
He's feeling pretty good today. They give him some fluids and everything last night in the infield care center, and got his energy back up. I believe he just ate something yesterday that didn't really agree with him.
How do you keep him primed for 500 laps here tonight after 250? Last night was only half a night's work.
Put more vents on the car and try to keep plenty of air to him, and tell him to drink plenty of water today.
And you guys learned a little bit from last night, too, didn't you?
Yeah, we learned some stuff on the shocks and a few other changes that we put on the car today that seemed to have helped, that I believe is going to make us hopefully better tonight.
Steve Grissom going for the weekend sweep here at Bristol.
They've got the cars divided up into 2 groups to make sure they're okay on the speed down pit road. Here are the results of last night's Food City 250 at Bristol. Jeff Green finished second to Steve. Tim Fiedel a third. Chad Little had a great race coming back from a spin or two to finish fourth. And Terry Labonte was in 5th position. And here are the 2 groups of cars that are being led around the speedway. There are 20 and then the remaining 16.
There we see the back field of cars. Yeah, now you see that one pace car is pulled off and the back group will catch up with the front. They use that, and both of those pace cars will run pit road speed, and the guys can adjust their tachometers and whatever gear they want to come down pit road. And I think pit road speed is what, Ned, 25 miles per hour?
That's what it was last night, so it seemed to be the same.
John Kernan has a weather update.
Bob,
I say
of
that a
course,
little hesitatingly, John, but I hope your news is good.
Well, Bob, as you can look at all the green. Here we are at Bristol International Raceway right here. Now, this is just very light precipitation, moisture in the air. Nothing really heavy until you get south of here, about 100 nautical miles down around the Spartanburg area. Now, this is the remnants of what was Hurricane Jerry, and it's got this counterclockwise flow, so we have to watch out over in here. So it looks like we might be okay. We might have to be concerned with the cells. A little bit darker green out here indicating a little bit heavier precipitation. But, hey, cross your fingers. We just might get this race in tonight.
What is it, moving east, John?
Well, Bob, I said, you know, help me out here, Bob. Counterclockwise, like that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All
okay,
right.
so it's moving northwest.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Gotcha.
You got it? Got it, Bob?
Yep.
Hey, John, are you
Yeah.
working on, what is that, AMA?
American Meteorological Society or whatever. Yeah.
What is it? It's the AMS, yeah, because I figure, you know, during the 3 months I'm off in the winter, maybe I can get a job at the Weather Channel or something to talk about the weather down there during the winter, you know? A little something to fill the Christmas vacation with.
Aha. Now they continue to run here. No green flag yet. The track will have to be a little bit drier than it is right now before we give them the green flag to start tonight's Goody's 500. From Bristol International Raceway, we'll be right back. Doyle Ford is holding up 5 figures. In 5 more laps, we'll turn them loose and go green. Let's check our in-cars numerically. First in the number 3 car, the Dale Earnhardt GM Goodwrench Service Chevrolet. We have an inside view from Dale and also the roof cam on the number 3 car. Here's Ricky Rudd in the number 10 Tide Machine. He also carries an in-car, a rear bumper, and a roof cam. Morgan Shepherd will have one. In the Citgo Ford.
Okay, Bob, show us the 21 car.
There it is.
Oh, thank you. Mark Martin, also the Valvoline Ford, will have an in-car camera. There we see Mark. We see a little bit of rain on the windshield.
Finally, Kenny Schrader will carry our 5th in-car camera for the evening. 4 laps to go. Still a little bit of moisture in the air. You can see it flowing over the windshield of these race cars, but I think maybe the track is going to be good enough to race on here in just a few moments. We'll show you the grid and how they're going to line up for this event. As you see, the 70,000+ spectators that have gathered here tonight for this annual ritual of speed and excitement on the high-banked half-mile racetrack at Bristol. 36 degrees of banking, and last night's race was typical. We saw a lot of great competition. We saw Steve Grissom come from the rear of the field, really, to win this race. But in the NASCAR Winston Cup history, it's been best to start up front to win this race. And we go, what, for the 3rd time in 4 races, the Winston, the Unocal bonus money has been won?
Has been won. 3 of the last 4 races has been won from the pole position. That has to be some kind of record. I think I read that the last 2 races have been won by the pole, and that ties records. That has tied records that I think 2 is a record.
You can see that the rain has picked up again just when we thought we were going to get going. I don't think we're going to hold to this lap count that we started.
I can't imagine, Bob, that they would start them now, since that rain has picked up a little bit.
And you can see that there, especially on the black part, it's pretty wet. Kyle Petty, Kenny Wallace, Todd Bodine, Joe Ruttman, Jimmy Hensley, Elton Sawyer, and Bobby Hillen all failed to make this event. And this is the first time that the Felix Sabates and Kyle Petty team has failed to qualify for a Winston Cup race since 1989, the team's inaugural season when they were running a limited schedule. The last time Petty missed a Winston Cup race was in 1991 when he broke his leg in a crash at Talladega.
We see them scrambling. They had taken the tarps off pit road. Now we see them scrambling to put them back on.
Yeah, they want to try to keep those spots as dry as they possibly can. So when the drivers come in, if we do get this thing underway, they'll have a dry place to work. But you can see that rain is picking up.
Jerry Punch is with Richard Childress.
Well, Richard, the NASCAR officials have been polling some of the drivers, and I know a lot of them have not been in favor of dropping that green flag.
Yeah, it's not only the racetrack. We got dangerous pit road conditions. The apron of the racetrack's wet, so really not good conditions to even be trying to start it right now.
Now, while we watch it, the shower come over, a lot of the news this week in racing came out of your camp and welcome. In fact, that Andy Petrie had noted that he is going to be leaving the team at the end of the year. Obviously, you would like to have kept Andy, but it's a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Andy, and we discussed this when we hired him, and it just came a year sooner than any of us had anticipated. So what we're going to do now is use the same method that we used when we replaced Kurt Shamardine. And that's the biggest thing. Dale is going to have the most say in it because the crew chief has to work for the driver. So he'll have the most say, and it will take a poll between all the guys that work with us. And we're going to do it united as we always do stuff.
So is there any timetable? Is there any rush, so to speak, for you to name a crew chief? Obviously, you've got a lot of talent back in your own shop still.
Yeah, we've got a lot of talent there, but right now, our biggest focus is trying to get back in the championship. We do that, even if it's in November before we do something, I'm not going to be concerned.
Richard, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Richard.
Thank you.
Richard Childress, guys, watching it rain as we are. And by the way, his driver was one of them that said, no way should we go green. They pulled about 4 or 5 drivers, and about half said, let's go. The other half said no, and obviously they have called off the start.
And quite honestly, it looks to me as if it's raining just about as hard as it has rained in the last half hour or so. So keep your fingers crossed.
Well, we have radio communication with some of the drivers out there. We'll try Kenny Schrader and see. Kenny Schrader, this is Benny Parsons up at ESPN. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Professor.
So,
Professor?
Yeah,
What's that all about?
So tell us about the racetrack. Is it dry, wet, or what?
I figured starting here 25th that they dropped the green flag. By the time we got to one, I'd know that one of them other guys would find out first. But I think it's okay.
It still is raining, isn't it?
Yeah, the windshield looks like it's picked up a little bit, but I don't know. The track looks dry. I mean, I know that water went somewhere.
Hey, let me ask you something. You like this racetrack?
I'll get back with you in about 3 hours, okay?
Okay, we'll check with you then.
He's got some good answers for you tonight, Benny.
Well, I think NASCAR is starting to, I think they're going to bring the cars in. Yes, they are. They're slowing the cars down. They're going to park them and I guess put the covers back on them because it is still raining and they don't want to throw the green flag and run the cars on the caution flag, so they're going to stop them.
We've come so close because it wasn't raining at all. Rained about 2 o'clock, didn't rain again until about 7 o'clock. And by that time we were thinking, oh, everything's going to be okay. And then it let up enough to get the cars on the track. And now, by golly, here it comes again.
Looks like it's coming down pretty good right now.
Yeah, it does. Even our camera lens is showing some moisture shooting up the backstretch. We're up there right under the ESPN notation here at Bristol, watching it rain with the rest of you. And even the people now that are the die-hard race fans are beginning to pull out their umbrellas and their rain slickers. Jack Roush with hat on. Is that hat that you're wearing his?
Well, he gave me the hat as a present, but I tell you one thing, Jack, that hat will not stop the rain. It's got holes in it.
That's a straw hat one.
So the cars come down pit road and they stop. So we will not have the start of tonight's NASCAR Winston Cup race quite yet, but we hope we can sometime. Can believe this? These people are ready, aren't they?
They are ready.
It is going all the way around the racetrack, and this is about the 3rd or 4th time that they've done it.
You tell they ain't got nothing to do, can't you?
Well, there is nothing to do except sit here and watch it rain, as we are, and as many of the drivers are doing. Mark Martin is enjoying the wave going around the racetrack. Here's Jerry.
Hey, Mark, as you watch the wave, the fans are up now by 3 laps.
That's scary, I tell you, right there. I tell you, I'm glad I'm not up in the middle of that.
Now, you talk about enthusiasm, and that's enthusiasm. 70,000 strong, and they don't care that it's raining.
Well, they may care, but they're making the best of it like we are. You know, NASCAR fans are the greatest.
You know, we talked about they were polling some of the drivers when you were out there running some laps, and Terry Labonte said, yeah, let's start the race. Earnhardt said, let's don't start it. And you made a special request.
Yeah. Let's count these things.
You wanted to count the lap.
Sure, man. I was about ready to go. The track was ready, and then it started raining, you know, pretty hard. We could have got a couple laps in, but it wouldn't have done us any good. So.
I tell you what, when we do finally drop the green flag, this folks behind you are going to be worn slap out.
Yeah, they are going to. It's going to be a rough night for these fans.
They call it Thunder Valley, not because of the loud race cars, but because these fans love to come here and make some noise. Let's go to John Curtis.
Jerry, I'm in the driver's lounge where it's nice and quiet and cool, and we're just hanging out with Bill Elliott. And Bill, Ted was talking about last week about giving you that push and everything after you ran out of gas. And you said, what did you tell me about that?
He pushed me back a lap.
Looked to me like he was pushing you forward there.
Well, it ended up backing me up. I mean, it's just one of them situations that I didn't ask him to push me. And, you know, he was running around there. I guess he had lost a cylinder early in the race, and I guess he felt like he was going to help me out. But NASCAR didn't want to see it that way. They didn't have the same eyes on that deal. But, you know, it ended up really not costing us anything because I wouldn't have beat the other 2 cars, I think the 31 and the 43 anyway. So, you know, it just really didn't matter.
Well, Bill Weber, the crews are doing the wave out there now. Maybe if you give me 5 minutes, I can get the drivers in here whipped up and we can do the wave around the driver's lounge.
I'm going to leave that all to you, John. Right here we have some of the newest technology in Winston Cup racing. These are flashing crew caps. Now, this one belongs to Tim Brewer of John Andretti's car. Of course, he's the crew chief, and their number flashes. But the Sitco car, the sponsor flashes. Now, this is what Michael Waltrip needs to help endorse his store in Owensboro, Kentucky. He needs a flashing hat. Now the crew doing the wave along the wall in response to these fans, most of whom you have seen have not left their feet. Now I'm going to lift up this car tarpaulin right here, and I was going to talk to John Andretti. So if I lift this up, I would talk to John, but he must have gone out the other side. So he's not here right now, and all I can talk about right now is flashing caps and the wave from the fans and the crews. And Bob, we'll let you know when it starts lightening up down here, okay?
It isn't yet, huh?
A little bit. It is. In the last 5 minutes, it has kind of let up a little bit. So we're optimistic down here. But we'll let you come down and help us dry the track if you're interested.
I think the thing we can safely say, as Ned pointed out, was that when it does stop raining, it's going to take very little time to get this track dry. Jerry?
And we have been clocking it. I'm here with Richard Childers. And Richard, what's the new track record for the wave?
So far, it's a 45.10. That was a 48.30. They're getting a little weaker, I think.
Legs are getting sort of worn out up there, but a 45.10 was the track record the first time by for the wave.
So far, that's been the best lap yet.
Obviously, we'll keep clocking them and let you know if it picks up speed here in the grandstand. But, hey, the drivers and crews are really enjoying this. The fans are just absolutely on top of what's happening at Bristol, Tennessee, Bob.
It's certainly the most entertaining thing going on right now as it continues to come down. Not very hard, but a little bit. We're at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee, waiting for it to stop raining so that we can get this Goody's 500 underway.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing from 1948 to 1998.
We are ready to go racing at Bristol International Raceway. The fans have waited patiently. They're ready. Here's the green flag, and the race is underway. Concern to a lot of drivers is getting to the inside.
Jeff Gordon has not been able to do that yet. Dale Earnhardt on the inside of him there. They're racing for the 5th position. Earnhardt takes it now.
And Gordon looked like he nearly hit Dale in the back end of the car momentarily. He did, however, fall in behind Dale, and now we have a single file procession through the first and second turns here on lap number 3. It's Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Craven, Ricky Rudd, Ted Musgrave, and Hut Strickland.
You see back in the back there, Bobby Labonte still up on the outside in the Interstate Battery Chevrolet. He's about the only one.
Dave Marcus is
Dave
also
Marcus.
up there.
Right, yeah.
He's losing positions and going to the back of the field as we focus in on Morgan Shepherd looking back on Brett Bodine. And 29th, Shepherd in 28th, and Bodine in 29th.
Well, everybody exercising a lot of patience here right now. Just
that 90 car bottoming out, sending a lot of sparks up from the underneath side. There is the leader, Mark Martin.
Before the night's over, I'm sure we'll see sparks on a lot of these race cars as they go in the corner and then bottom out the chassis, the exhaust.
Great shot looking back on the entire field from leader Mark Martin's car. Let the field go by here and show you that again everybody is very patient at this time, working in single file formation and only making an attempt to pass when they figure they can completely do so. That's how quickly a lap is completed here in under 16 seconds. So they're making almost 4 laps per minute.
And if they can run green flag, it won't take long to get this race out of the way.
Now from Kenny Schrader's view, up ahead to Robert Presley.
Rick Mast, you mean?
Rick Mast, exactly.
That's what you meant, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Did I say anything else?
There we see just a little bit of a spark from Mast's cars. Pete Bottom's going in the corner.
Driving so nice now.
Well, they are, aren't they, man?
Yeah, just being considerate, conservative.
Schrader has moved up a couple of positions to challenge Rick Mast.
They'll change in a little while. They'll get waved after they get the feeling. In fact, Ken Schrader making the pass right now.
Yeah, he got to the inside of Rick, picked up that spot. Here comes Jimmy Spencer to pass Mast also. Close call there.
It always is close. When you pass coming off these corners at Bristol, it is always close. And there's the guy they talked about, Darrell Waltrip.
12 times he's won here, Benny.
Hut Strickland said, I'm just going to find Darrell and follow him all night long because I feel like at the end of the race, he's going to be somewhere near the front.
Now, Hut's pretty far up in front of him right now, about 7 or 8 positions.
I don't imagine he'll stop and wait on Darrell.
I don't think so.
Sterling Marlin and Bill Elliott running together out on the racetrack. They are in, let's see, 19th and 20th position, something like that.
Won this race one time. You can see the graphic on the screen, 486 laps to go.
It sounds like a long time, but as we indicated, the laps are so quickly here. An official race would be 1 lap past the halfway mark, 2:51. I don't think anybody is really thinking about that at the moment, although the goal, of course, is to get up front as quickly as possible. Here is Robert Presley along with Dale Jarrett. There is Ward Burton right behind in the MB&A car, and then Jeff Burton.
Beginning to put a little pressure on Robert Presley there now. The car in front of him, which is Rich Bickle, is beginning to get away by a few car lengths. When conditions are at their best, this is a tough racetrack to pass on, and then you consider, well, there might be a damp spot here or there where you have to be extra special, careful.
Now we can see that Mark Martin and Terry Labonte have kind of driven away from this battle for 3rd place. Right now, Michael Waltrip, Penzo Pontiac is in 3rd, Rusty, Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon.
All closing in. Wallace took a look there to the inside at the end of the backstretch. But Michael Waltrip continues to hang on to 3rd, giving the Pennzoil its best start of 1995 here tonight. taking a look to the inside of Rusty Wallace into turn 1, but making no move. Great shot from the roof cam on Dale Earnhardt's car.
Right up on the bumper in the center of the corner.
Car starting to move up just a little bit in the center of the corner. Might be enough to let Rusty Wallace get alongside. There we see Ricky Craven and Ricky Rudd. A couple of Rickies. That's a race for 7th spot. Craven in the 41 Kodiak car is in 7th, and Rudd is in 8th in the Tide machine.
Ricky Craven, the leading candidate to walk off with Rookie of the Year honors this year in NASCAR Winston Cup competition.
He's currently leading Robert Preston in that chase.
Had a great qualifying run here. That was Jeff Burton's spotter we heard there that Sterling's working on. Jeff Bodine just made a pass on Hut Strickland.
Ricky Craven has finished in the top 10 the last 2 races. He was 10th at Glen and 7th at Michigan last week. His career best back up front of this pack involving 3, 4, 5, and 6, Waltrip, Wallace, Earnhardt, and Gordon. Here's our first Napa Field summary for the evening. Take a look at the standings as they were last time around and see where your favorite driver is running.
And the number in parentheses is where that driver started. Now then, Greg Sachs in the 31 car about to be overtaken and lapped by Mark Martin.
We'll see how that second groove up there works for Martin. Greg gives him plenty of room. Labonte comes right on by as Martin gets by.
Sachs, the only car at the moment a lap down, and as you saw, he was just passed by both Mark Martin and second place Terry Labonte. As those two continue to duke it out for the lead and in fact continue to pull away from the second group consisting of those 4 we showed you just a few moments ago of Waltrip, Wallace, Earnhardt, and Gordon.
Ricky Rudd finally was able to get by Ricky Craven. There we see from the rear bumper on Ricky Rudd's car looking back at Ricky Craven.
So that puts Rudd then up into 7th position.
And that's Ted Musgrave, the Family Channel car, right behind Craven now.
Oh, it spins. Rusty Wallace stands off of turn 4.
Just nudges the wall coming off the corner. Sends up a lot of smoke. The yellow is out, but everybody else is going to be able to dive to the inside and avoid hitting him. I'm not so sure that the car is hurt all that much. Because
some fire on it, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Fire underneath the car.
The fire goes away once he does get it fired. And he has gone a lap down.
So, Rusty Wallace is a 5-time winner here at this racetrack, including this event last year. He's won the spring race 4 times.
You see him pointing at Dale Earnhardt there?
Yep.
I think they got together as they came off the turn up there.
Oh.
We'll see here.
Here's a replay.
Earnhardt comes in, down on the inside, comes up, yep, taps him, and around he goes.
And look at him work the wheel and trying to save the slide. He didn't. The car hit the wall, both the left front and the left rear. And now from the speed shot, we'll take a look at it once again. Contact was pretty severe there on the left rear.
Well, that's just sheet metal back there. I don't know that it hurt the car too badly, but he's certainly got to go in the pits and change tires, which he's in the pits right now.
Now, there's a fire that briefly erupted on the car. Jerry?
And that was raw fuel coming out the left side exhaust, and Rusty is sitting in there. Rusty just took his right hand and pointed up toward the Earnhardt pits with his index finger and just pointed it right at him. Obviously, he is very, very upset as the car is out of the way. They have changed all 4 tires, and some of the Miller Genuine Draft crew also out on pit road. The NASCAR officials have pushed them back behind the wall, but a lot of concern here about the car's damage.
From the in-car, look and listen to Rusty Wallace's spin. Just the slightest amount of contact with the car in front of you can send him around, and that's exactly what happened, as Rusty Wallace has been the first to taste the concrete here at Bristol on this Saturday night. We have just begun, only 34 laps into this race because of a rain delay, and we'll be right back. Riding with Dale Earnhardt here and under a caution here at Bristol. We think that there may be a black flag displayed to Dale Earnhardt. We're going to see here. Yes, indeed. The flagman is pointing to Dale with the black bunting, and Earnhardt is going to go to the rear of the line because of his what NASCAR considered more than incidental contact with Rusty Wallace. The fans think that was the right decision by NASCAR.
Well, some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah, that's right. They're divided, but they're letting it be known what their feeling is.
Now Rusty will be able to go to up to the front of the line on the inside. Jerry?
He's been in 3 times, guys. They raised the hood and set the toe in. The left front tire is still slightly towed in, but they got it as close as they possibly could with the time they had. Sheet metal damage, but a slight toe-in problem in the left front. That's the only injury for the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. Bob?
Here they come down for the restart, and Rusty will, of course, be trying desperately to get his lost lap back. Mark pulls out in front of him, though, however, as the green does come out on lap number 39.
You see Rusty's car bottoming out as he exited turn 2. With 4 fresh tires, he might be able to get by Mark Martin. But he needs to do it pretty quick. It looks like he is. He's alongside.
You can tell that he has a lot different attitude about this race right now.
No more patience right now, not for him.
Exactly. He has made up the lost lap. And now Terry Labonte looks like he's maybe ready to challenge Mark Martin for the lead.
Yeah, he had a notion there.
That's how close Terry Labonte is to Mark Martin. This is looking out the back bumper of the battling Ford.
Is back on the lead lap. Greg Sachs, who did lose a lap, made his up also. So here's a battle between Joe Nemechek, Derek Cope, and Rich Bickle.
That's 10th, 11th. Watch Ricky Bickle car practice this afternoon. It looked like his car was going.
Here's another driver that had a great qualifying run. Pontiac.
Bickle started from 15th, qualifying at 123.459, 15.542. And more action back of that group. This is John Andretti along with Dick Trickle, Dale Earnhardt as he tries to make his way up through the pack once again after the black flag. And behind him is Dave Marcus. Earnhardt looking to the inside of Dick Trickle.
Well, he knows that he has to go hard because Mark Martin and them will be around in a hurry to pull that one. We have seen Martin already about to lap the tail end of the field. He had gotten by Greg Sachs and was closing in on others. So Earnhardt knows that he can get around there pretty quick. So he's got to put as many cars between he and the leader as he possibly can.
John Andretti losing positions as he gets up in the second groove and those to the inside pass by. Jerry has a report on what did Dale Earnhardt say on the radio during all this, Jerry?
Well, what he actually did, guys, he admitted it was his fault. He said, hey, I'm sorry. He said, but, you know, it looked like Rusty slowed down. Either he jumped out of the throttle or tapped the brake. He said, I hit him, but I certainly didn't mean to. It certainly was my fault, and I'm sorry. He apologized to his team and asked them to apologize to Rusty's team. He said, certainly it was totally unintentional.
In any case, he was forced to the rear of the field, now finds himself in 30th position as he continues to move upward. Earnhardt has race. They're the first two. Now here comes 3, 4, 5, 6, and on back. Waltrip is still at the front of this second group. And we have a crash up in turn number 4. It's Brett Bodine in the concrete.
Boy, Brett has had a tough year this year in the Lowe's Ford. He just either has mechanical problems or gets caught up in a crash or something. He just had a tough year.
Had to take a provisional to get into this field, 33rd.
Now, Rusty Wallace has made up his lap because he was in front of Mark Martin. Let's watch the replay, and we'll see that some contact between
Bobby Hamilton.
Bobby Hamilton. Yep. Going in the corner, just a little bit of a contact with the rear of the 11 car.
And we have pit stops now being made by a lot of those up front, including Martin, Labonte, Waltrip, Gordon, Rudd, Craven on back. We'll take a look at the front pit here and see the work being done by the Ted Musgrave Joe Roush crew and Mark Martin.
Joe Roush, Jack brother.
I'm sorry, yes. Joe Roush is a race driver in Indiana.
And the 87 car, Nemechek, has already left pit road, so evidently just put gasoline in the car on right sides. You see Mark can't get out. Martin, the leader, came in, cannot get out. He was blocked in by Earnhardt. And look, Earnhardt came in 30th place, and he'll go out probably about 10th or 12th.
Picking up several positions because of the pit stop. How about that?
Now Nemechek is back in.
John Kernan has more.
Joe Nemechek very carefully coming in for this 4-tire change. Last time in, he couldn't get slowed down quick enough to get into his pit stall. Still a lot of moisture here while the pit stalls are fairly dry. It is still pretty wet down here on the outskirts of pit road. As Dale Earnhardt coming back down pit road. Left side work continuing on Nemechek. He's down. Let's go down to 0 to 5.
When Dale Earnhardt came in, he had trouble getting his car all the way in toward the wall and then get the left side lug nuts on, so they changed right side tires. Back up in line. Now he comes back in and is able to get the left side tires changed. That's one of the reasons that Mark Martin had trouble getting out. Earnhardt couldn't get his car all the way turned to the right in his pit stall, and that, of course, blocked Martin's exit.
So it wasn't as good as it looked. Earnhardt with the second visit. And this is what happened to Mark Martin. You can see that he's boxed in there and had to back up before pulling out. So under caution for the second time tonight, Brett Bodine in the wall in turn number 4. Back with more of the Goodies 500 from Bristol in a moment. Just as you rejoin us, the green comes out and we're back to racing on lap number 58 with Jeremy Mayfield up front, followed by Lake Speed, John Andretti, and Jimmy Spencer. Now those cars did not pit during this caution. They pitted during the first caution.
Exactly. Mayfield, Lake Speed, John Andretti, and Jimmy Spencer all made pit stops during the last caution, so they stayed out on the racetrack. They're up front. Great.
You see that Mayfield gets some pressure from Lake Speed in the span car. Some heavy pressure, as a matter of fact. And right behind that, John Andretti gets some heavy pressure from Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, John's car hadn't really been going too good before. Now he's up there. He's holding up a pack of cars, it looks like. There, as we see good racing up front here with the 2 cars. They pulled away from Andretti.
And as you can see, the rain is beginning to fall once again. Ooh! And a hard crash. And it's Brett Bodine once again for the second time. This time he's in the wall in turn number 2.
Man, in front of the leaders.
Wow. Got down off the banking. And everyone avoided him, but it was close as Jeremy Mayfield and Lake Speed came down at full speed. So Brett Bodine has his second crash of the evening within a few laps, and this time the Lowe's machine is really tore up in the rear end.
Yeah, he lost a couple of 3 laps, as a matter of fact, on repairing it here a little bit earlier, and it was Bobby Hamilton again, same driver. Don't know what's going on between those two, but Brett Bodine's getting the worst end of it.
See that Bobby Hamilton has been black flagged by the NASCAR officials.
He has gone to the rear of the field. Brett Bodine continues out there. Here's a replay of it once again.
You see that the 11 has already smacked the wall as Hamilton goes by.
This is, and there has how close it was as Mayfield and Speed came down in the 36 degrees of banking and saw the car right ahead of them. Brett Bodine in the pits once again. We'll take another break and be right back.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing from 1948 to 1998.
August 26, 1995, and the Goody's 500 from Bristol is the race that you're currently watching as the NASCAR ESPN2 Marathon continues. Benny and I are at Daytona, USA. You know, I think it's a well-known fact that Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace are and always have been very good friends. They used to play practical jokes on each other. But when you come to Bristol, you ain't got a friend in the world.
You can't have a friend in the world. I've talked about the last Bristol race. We saw just how difficult it is to pass. Now, tonight, you're going to see that passing, in fact, can be done at Bristol because we're going to see a lot of passing.
Now, he's off sequence on pit stops, but we have a young man named Jeremy Mayfield that's leading the race.
And, you know, we always forget where these guys came from. It's nice to see Jeremy back in Cale Yarborough's RCA car.
All right, let's go back now and pick up on the action from August of 1995. The Goody's 500 from Bristol. It's the ESPN NASCAR Marathon continuing. They just went green, completed less than a lap as Jeremy Mayfield continues to be the leader of the race. This is only the second NASCAR Winston Cup race he has led in his 40 career starts. He did lead 12 laps at Darlington earlier this year. They're holding the 43 car on pit road. Bobby Hamilton because of his contact with Brett Bodine. There is Jeremy Mayfield, and right behind his leg speed then comes Jimmy Spencer, Jeff Gordon, and then this group led by Terry Labonte.
And John Andretti has been caught on the outside, and a lot of cars are going to go by him before he's going to get a chance to get back down on the inside.
That's Dick Trickle beside him at the moment. Morgan Shepherd is looming behind. So is Darrell Waltrip and Mark Martin.
Up in front of that, Jeff Gordon just Jimmy Spencer moved into third place. Terry Labonte goes around Spencer.
Here comes Rich Bickle. Up front, we still have Mayfield and Speed at the top of the field. And Lake Speed has not led a lap this year, so if he can make the pass and get into the lead, he'll pick up 5 bonus points for the first time. And the 43 car has just now been released from his penalty box. Jeff Gordon now finds himself in third. Terry Labonte is fourth.
Coach John Andretti back there is still on the outside, and cars are still passing him. He's gone from about 4th back to about 20th and still going back.
Once you get up in that high line, everybody's going to do their best to keep you up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no mercy fade out there.
He might be able to get back in line. Yes, he drove down to the inside.
Just ahead of Sterling Marlin. The caution is out, and it could be for rain.
Probably is.
73 laps have been completed.
Yes, it's for rain.
It is indeed for rain. Bill Weber has an update on the leader at the current moment, Jeremy Mayfield.
Hey, guys, 2 weeks ago, that car Jeremy Mayfield is in was a show car. They took it to Watkins Glen to put it in an auto show up there. They brought it back. Tony Furr said, we're going to do some work on this car, and they made it into a short track car. They changed literally everything on it. They've been fast since they got off the truck and onto the track, and they were pretty happy this morning. Jeremy didn't have a lot of laps here. He missed this race in the spring, but they're excited with their position and their possibilities here tonight. But it was a show car 2 weeks ago.
How about that? So when you see these cars at a shopping center or whatever, and you say, nah, those aren't real race cars, and by golly, they can be.
Won't take long.
There is a huge tarp being utilized by the Childress crew down there for Dale Earnhardt.
No, they don't have the big one out yet. They had one a little bit ago that covered his pit area, Jeff Gordon's pit area, and their tires and tools and everything else. I have never seen such a tarp in my life.
Yep.
Last step. Right now it's about neutral.
Michael Walton says right now the car's about neutral.
Just eavesdrop on some radio conversations here, BP, while we're not racing.
Which is exactly what the crew chief always wants to hear. Neutral.
Michael is running in the 7th position at the moment.
Said no extra vent for the windshield yet.
Good said there's no
windshield's fine. Yeah, I was just trying to talk them into having somebody so we could dry it when we did come out, but they said no. It dries as soon as you get going. That ain't no big deal.
Okay. Under current NASCAR rules, you're only allowed 7 men across the wall, and you use each one of those men, so they don't have a man to clean the windshield. It has to be done from across the pit wall.
So they're going to pick the speed up to 50.
But you heard Michael say that that is not really...
They said pick it up to 50 miles an hour. Try running it hard enough to keep the track as dry as they can, I guess.
Also eavesdropping on Steve Grissom and his conversation. We'll show you a field summary here while we are under caution and we listen in on the radios. Mayfield started.
A little over 220 on the water, right at 230 on the hole. The 22, Bobby, coming in right now. All right, there's no tape on it, so we'll have to keep an eye on it.
A lot of talk goes on between the driver and the spotter. And, of course, the crew chief gets in every once in a while. And it's a pretty good hat there, Benny.
That is a great hat.
Well, if you were still doing the hat of the week, that would be unique.
Oh, for the want of an umbrella, huh? Well, there's a radar. Jerry, or rather John and Jack are looking at it. John, what's it look like?
What's it look like, Bob? It looks green around here. But I tell you what, you know, we got some cells out here. The movement we've seen has been toward the west. But what's kind of promising, I think, you can see how it's breaking up around. So probably we're going to have some light stuff. We might be just a little more light stuff, don't you think? Yeah. My consultant tells me, yeah, a little more light stuff. The only problem I see on here is we get down to Spartanburg, and it's built quite a bit over the last 35, 45 minutes, having some severe cells down there. But it looks like mostly light stuff for us. So like I said, just cross your fingers, and maybe we'll get this thing in. Now let's go to Dr. Jerry Parrish.
While we have a rain shower, let's check in the Rusty Wallace pit with Robin Pemberton. Robin, unfortunately, your car had an early contact with the wall. How bad was it hurt?
Well, it's towed in right now instead of out. It's not handling like it needs to. You can't come in and fix it. They're picking the pace up to 50 miles an hour trying to keep the racetrack dry. It's not right yet, and hopefully later we'll get a chance to work on it.
Is the tow-in the only problem other than the sheet metal damage?
Yeah, as far as we know.
Did you get word from the 3 pit that Dale called in and apologized, saying that he admitted it was his fault?
Yeah, that's really nice of him. We really appreciate it.
That's Robin Pemberton. The Rusty Wallace's crew once again cannot pit because of the speed on pit road. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And I'm here with Robbie Loomis, and to put it politically correct, these guys are steamed. You guys were held for several laps. Robbie, what's the story?
Well, I tell you, I really don't know the story. I guess it's a tough call, you know, up there for NASCAR on these short tracks. You know, that 11 car run us all over the racetrack after he done got loose. He was out of control down there and wrecked. And then he run us all over the racetrack. I guess we got into the back of him. NASCAR made the call to put us in a penalty box. I've seen a lot of these other guys, you know, it happened with the 3 car there earlier. I don't know why it just happens to us, but NASCAR will take care of it, I guess, and things will work their way out.
Okay, he's going to go back to work, but let me tell you, it was pretty heated down here. Richard Petty was involved. They were really taken to task with some of these NASCAR officials down there. They pleaded their case as long as they could, but no good, and they held Bobby Hamilton on pit road, and it was frustrating to watch, and I was standing right there, so I can't imagine what it was like to be a member of the team.
They held him for 5 laps. That puts him back in 35th position, 5 laps down. And they're still talking about it to the NASCAR officials.
Jerry, problem with Mark Martin's radio?
Bob, unfortunately, that is the case. The crew now trying to work on a backup helmet. They're changing a visor, and they have some cords. Apparently, Mark could hear Steve Mill and the crew, but they cannot hear him, so they had everyone out here on pit road watching very closely. They are using hand signals to communicate with Mark, and they're all trying to see when he comes by exactly what signal he's giving them. But in the meantime, and as you heard Robin Pemberton say, because the speed has been picked up by the pace car at over 50 miles an hour as opposed to the normal 35, they can't afford to take a chance on trying to come in and change helmets. At a pit stop, they might just lose a lap. So they'll have to wait till they get a chance to come in, change the helmet, and get the radios fixed.
We are under caution because of a rain shower. It's Jeremy Mayfield, Lake Speed, Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, and Rich Bickle, the top 5 after 83 laps. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Last week at Michigan International Speedway, we found out just how important a little bit of gasoline is. Ricky Rudd, remember, he had the problem with the flapper valve in the vent not being open to allow fuel to go in the car. One driver who had just exactly the amount of fuel he needed was Bobby Labonte. As the team praised, he does have enough. Phil Elliott lacked about 1/4 of a gallon making to the end and ran out on the backstretch. Here's the pit stop Bill Elliott made in 1990, and we're going to show you why that they installed the flapper valve. Watch as he leaves with this Ford Thunderbird, the fuel that comes out the back of the car. That might have been a ½ gallon of gasoline. So how do they keep that gas in the car with the flapper valve? The fuel goes in the tank in the big hose, displacing air in the fuel cell, comes through the vent, and there's the flapper valve that holds the fuel in the tank. Here's the probe that last week wasn't long enough to open that valve. Here's how it works. There's the little valve inside. The probe goes in, opens it. That allows the air to come out. When the car leaves, the valve closes. Well, notice the vent is 1.25 inches in diameter. On a street car, it's about 3/8 of an inch. That's why they're able to put 11 gallons of fuel in just 7-8 seconds. And we see Happy Birthday Landon, Ricky Rudd's and Linda's son, 1-year-old today.
Yeah, I remember that. He had to leave the racetrack and got back just in time for the race. Well,
and we can see that fuel mileage is so important at each one of these races, and they had to put those valves in there so we wouldn't spill all that gasoline on pit road. Remember when these cars would leave and all that gasoline would go? Well, but
which is much safer the way it is now.
It is much safer, certainly it is.
And as you indicated, that small amount that spilled out of Elliott's tank there a few years ago would have been enough to take him to the checkered flag last week.
Exactly.
Bill Weber is with Tony Fuhr.
Well, Tony, we talked about how your guys have worked so hard. You might have an advantage because this race is running so late. You guys have been working so late at night. What's Jeremy telling you?
Well, right now, you know, he said the field's real good to be leading the race and stuff. The car's working real good and stuff. You know, we just needed track position, the main thing. That's the reason I pitted a while ago, so that we can move on up. Because we knew the car was pretty quick. We practiced real good today and last practice and stuff. We just didn't do too good qualifying. But, you know, the boy's really doing a good job right now. He's got that RCA Ford right up there where it needs to be.
And it really is a show car.
Yeah, it really is a show car. This car was a show car all year long, and we brought it out for this race here.
Okay, I should say was a show car. Tonight it's a race car. Rusty Wallace back on pit road, the Jerry Punch.
Yeah, and that car's been putting on a pretty good show down there, Bill Weber. Rusty Wallace's show almost ended early, but they have come in now twice under the caution to try to set the left front toe in. They try to get all the hood pins back in. Here comes the pace car down the straightaway, and Rusty is down and away. And I am told they are going to signal 1 to go, and we'll have green next time by, Bob.
That's good news. The lights on top of the pace car are going to be extinguished, and we will go back to racing. On about lap number 92, it looks like.
And we'll see that Jeff Burton in the 8 car, the Rebestis car, will come up. He lost a lap in the pits a moment ago. Caution flag, a couple of caution flags going to Bobby Hamilton.
Gotta be ready now.
Bobby Hamilton also 5 laps down. He's pulled up on the inside line.
Here comes the pace car. The crowd is still here despite the rain, and there's
Green.
Jeremy gets a pretty good jump. It's his second Bristol race. He was 21st here last August. He did not qualify for the spring race here in Bristol, but right now Mayfield is at the head of the field.
Apparently actually lost a lap in the pits. He's made several pit stops during this caution period. And he must have gone a lap down because he's up there at the front. Right behind the car number 24 of Jeff Gordon.
On Robert Presley.
Well, Ned, as you said, Robert been on pit road several times during that caution. They developed a leak in the rear end housing. Charlie Presley and the crew got underneath the car, used a little compound, some sticky stuff, you might say, pushed it up on there. They have told the NASCAR official they think that that's going to hold it and stop the leak.
They should have told the NASCAR official they hope that's going to stop the leak. And it just might.
Trying to get one of his laps back. Well, he's only one lap down, as a matter of fact, so he's trying to get back in the lead lap.
I tell you what, Tony Furr, we had that conversation with Tony Furr just a moment ago. Now, he has done a wonderful job as crew chief for Jeremy Mayfield. Jeremy loves him, and he enjoys working with Jeremy. And these guys right now have a very good team. Tony Furr and Jeremy Mayfield leading the team.
They have come a long way since the two came together. John, what happened to Jeff Burton that he lost his lap?
Well, Bob, he had to pit a little earlier for left side tires. Thought he had a cut tire going down, but I was just told by a member of the crew that it was Rusty Wallace who relayed to his spotter that he thought Jeff had a tire going down. Goes their spot, Rusty spotter told Jeff's spotter. Jeff came in. They found out it was not a cut tire. But that's their story down here, and they say they're sticking to it.
Well, in any case, he's back in 33rd spot, a lap down.
And he's running good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
right up there.
He is running well.
Yeah, he could, if he could pass those cars, he could drive away, I believe. He looks to be a little bit faster, certainly, than Lake Speed. Lake's right there on Mayfield.
Trying to take a look on the inside. Can't make it.
Don't work on him. They know you want it.
He said, well, let him know you want it.
I think Lake probably knows, don't you? Saw the 11 car of Brett Bodine go back in action. He's been in the wall at least twice.
Lake Speed almost got the wall that time as he came off the second corner.
Oh, he's...
Dropping back. Jeremy Mayfield pulled away by a couple of car lengths. I don't know if that's Lake being defensive with Jeff Burton or if his chassis getting a little bit loose or pushing right now. Going away, I should say.
Napa field summary. Mark Martin, our pole sitter, back in 11th position. Dale Earnhardt is 20th. Wallace back in 29.
Jimmy Spencer's been working on Rich Bickle. Bickle driving the 40 car, Pontiac. Spencer in the number 23. And finally, Jeff Burton was able to get around the number 9, and as Jeremy Mayfield.
Come on, brother, come on.
And his spotter's coaching him. He wanted to just take advantage of the situation. He's going on.
Come on. You're clear.
So Jeff Burton makes
the got the 43. He's going to be working on you.
Oh, we got a spin. Morgan Kemper.
Keep digging.
And John Andretti smacks the wall extremely hard coming off the second corner.
I don't think John knew that Morgan was down there. Yes, there is. There's a caution.
Now, yeah. There was not for a little bit, but
boy, John Andretti came hauling down off the banking in turn 2, and I don't think he saw Morgan, and then went into the wall on the outside.
And we see that Jeff Gordon has taken the lead, so he will get the 5 bonus points. But now Lake Speed is trying to go back in front of him, so I guess NASCAR will have to sort this out as to now Jeff Gordon's going back in front of him.
That's right. Jeff says,
Well, now Lake goes back to playing seesaw here.
Meanwhile, they both have passed the pace car, which is trying to pick up the field coming out of the backstretch pit. Here's a replay.
Never see Morgan Shepherd right on the right side, and he gets a little tap from Darrell Walter.
Yep.
And he will spin, and no one hits him. But if this camera will stay there, we'll see John Andretti in a second try to dodge somebody and come off and smack that wall. There he is. He's trying to dodge the 21 car.
And from Morgan Shepherd's in-car, Rucam.
That's right. Shouldn't have done any damage to the Citgo Ford. Yep. Might have flat spotted the tires. He's going into pits now, so we can ride with him down pit road and backstretch.
Now watch John Andretti come from the right side of your screen. Ooh, Earnhardt just barely missed him. Or
he did hit him.
There's Andretti. Now he goes up the banking and boom, bangs into the wall.
Well, you're right, Ben. He did hit that wall hard.
Yeah, he did.
Pits are open and several cars coming down pit road, including Earnhardt, and Jerry Punch is there.
And obviously Earnhardt did get him with the front bumper a little bit. Part of the grill below where it says Monte Carlo has been pushed in, and that was done in the earlier accident with Rusty Wallace. And they will be opening up the back pits as they work on the left side. In fact, there is a part of the door where it's a screen is at the door and been peeled away. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And Jeremy Mayfield on pit road. It'll be 4 tires on his car. He says he has a fender rubbing, and that could have come when those cars went by him after he surrendered the lead. Also, Andretti is on pit road. They've changed the right side tires, pulled the sheet metal away. Morgan Shepherd has some severe damage to the left rear quarter panel and to the tail section of that car. All 3 of those drivers now return to pit road. Andretti did lose a lap the first time he stopped just a moment ago.
Mayfield rolling back out onto the racetrack. Apparently, Lake Speed is going to win the dispute as to whether he or Jeff Gordon is the leader. NASCAR shows that Lake is up front with Jeff Gordon running in second position, and then Terry Labonte being shown in third. 112 laps out of 500 have been completed here at Bristol in the Goody's 500. ESPN Speed World tonight from Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee. Ricky Rudd in for another pit stop. Joe Nemechek is also on pit road. Both are rolling at the moment, leading the pace car coming off of turn number 4. And John has an update on Nemechek.
Bob, that was the 4th time that Nemechek has been on pit road. The first time they tried to do a 4-tire change, a lug nut jammed in one of the air guns, so they had to go out. That means they left some lug nuts loose on the left side. Then they came back in, tightened those up, but they didn't get a right rear tire change. Then the left side tires they had to change this time. 4 times in for Nemechek's crew, but they did not lose a lap. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
And guys, Dale Earnhardt made 2 pit stops. If you watch now from his room camp, he made a first pit stop, they changed tires, and watch Gene Dehart here trying to peel the left rear fender away, and that is where Earnhardt got involved with the car number 21. Now, he was trying to peel the fender away. In fact, possibly the front of the car number 21 peeled part of the left side door open on the GM Goodrich Chevrolet.
So Earnhardt back out on the racetrack in, let's see, where is he? Oh, he's back in 34th position, a lap down. And here's a replay of why we are under caution.
There's Morgan Shepherd right at the right side of the screen, gets a tap from Darrell Walter, and he spins. Now he's going to almost get it straightened out, and right here Earnhardt's going to go by and hit the back of there. Right there is the contact between the 3 and the 21 car.
From Mark Martin's roof cam. He was right behind Darrell Walter, who had the contact with Morgan Shepherd. And the other update is that indeed Jeff Gordon is the leader of the race and not Lake Speed.
But Lake did lead the lap, we understand, and so that'd be the first time that he has led many years.
And Jeff Gordon now has 5 bonus points for leading the race. Valuable points.
On his way to a possible NASCAR Winston Cup championship in '95.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing from 1948 to 1998.
Pace car pulls off the racetrack. We're going back to green once again on lap number 122. We've been cautioned for 12 laps because of Morgan Shepherd's spin and maybe some rain also. Jeff Gordon is the leader as Bobby Hamilton tries to get another lap. He did make up one of his 5 that he was penalized for.
On the last caution flag, Morgan Shepherd spun coming off the second corner.
And he did get another one, so he's only 3 laps down. And let us also tell you that although our scoring showed that Dale Earnhardt was down a lap, he is not down a lap. Dale Earnhardt is on the lead lap in 27.
Yeah, I don't know why that flashed up on the scoring there. Right when you said it a while ago, Bob, I didn't know you knocked that down.
Car. That's Robert Preston, the Skoll car. He is, in fact, a lap down. They've established that.
There are 4 cars that are at least a lap down. Presley and Andretti are 1 lap down. Bobby Hamilton now is 3 laps down, and Brett Bodine is 42 laps down.
Robert Presley in car 33 is in 33rd place. How about that?
Terry Labonte, who actually is 3rd behind Gordon and Speed. And there is Jimmy Spencer, who is 4th, and Michael Waltrip 5th.
The 6th place car, Darrell Waltrip is 7th.
Oh, Terry Labonte must have slipped pretty good coming off of turn 2. He almost lost it, lost about 5 or 6 car lengths, but he straightened it out. There he goes.
12-time winner here at Bristol, Darrell Waltrip, 7 times in this race, 5 in the spring race.
You see Brett Bodine right around the racetrack on the top green.
41 starts here at the high banks, 12 wins, 4 pole positions, and has finished in the top 5 25 times, giving him a 61% top 5 average.
That's pretty impressive.
Figured that out, BP, without my calculator.
I'm impressed.
There is Ted Musgrave. And Bill Elliott, 9th and 10th.
Jeff Bodine would be pole sitter here, wouldn't he? Was this right? This race last year that Jeff was a pole sitter?
Yep. And he led most of the race, as a matter of fact. He led 168 laps before his engine failed on lap 457 as Terry Labonte takes 2nd.
Well, we just about had a crash down in turn 1 there a moment ago, but it all straightened out as Joe Nemechek was going around with Greg Sachs, and they got together.
Well, we see John Andretti, that crash hit over in turn 2, Ned. We see how slow he's going around the racetrack, so he has some pretty heavy damage to the Kmart car. There's Bill Elliott, McDonald's car. There's Jeff Bodine. We were talking about it. Steve Wilson, the winner last night.
Do you remember who was on the pole for this race last year? His very last pole position before he retired.
Oh, there he is. That's right.
Got one on the bottom, the 37.
And something's wrong with Ricky Rudd. He's got damage in the front end. Look at
Ken
that.
Schrader and Dale Jarrett get together, but they both straightened it out. And there is damage to Ricky Rudd's car.
He's knocked the fender back on the tire. That's his problem. The right front fender's on the tire. He can't steer it.
And Morgan Shepherd almost spun again down in turn 2. I tell you, it's happening so fast out here, the camera can't keep up with it, and I can't either.
We can't keep up with it. Let's take a look at that Schrader-Jarrett almost crash.
Well, you see Ken's going to get a run on Dale going down into turn 3. Don't know if Dale knows he's there or not, but Dale does cut down on Schrader. And they touch. Schrader gets out of it. They get straightened out and go on.
By the way, this is Dale Jarrett's 250th NASCAR Winston Cup race. Now let's see what happened to Rudd. And what happened to Morgan Shepherd.
That's the one I was hollering about there a moment ago. You can see he gets a little tap from Rich Bickle. Bickle gets a little tap from Earnhardt.
Man, that was a beautiful save.
Wow, it really was.
So who did Rudd hit?
Rudd hit the 87 car, Nemechek, the Burger King car, and Ricky Rudd took his car behind pit wall. They're working on the car now behind pit wall. And look at that left rear sticking out on the 21 car. There we see Rudd's crew working on that car.
And Jerry Punch is right there.
Well, what happened to Rudd about 7 or 8 laps ago down in turn 1? He came into contact with the car number 31. That was Greg Sachs, who had jammed on the brakes to try to keep him running over another car and had gotten sideways. Now, Rudd ran into the back of the 31 and pushed the right front of his Ford in, and apparently they have broken the radiator. They have burst the radiator. They're going to take the radiator loose, replace it, but unfortunately he's losing a lot of valuable laps here under the green flag.
Looks like Rudd will have to wait on his first win of the 1995 season. He has not victored yet. He did, however, have a strong race last weekend in Michigan. Started second and led 46 laps before being sidelined.
And he's won a race every year since way back. About 11, 12, 13 years ago.
Jimmy Spencer has just taken over the 3rd spot from Lake Speed. They were watching Mark Martin, a pole position winner, trying to get by Dick Trickle. To a race for 6th spot.
There's a Bramfield summary. Gordon is your leader.
See Trickle and Martin. Tried running on the bottom side of the racetrack. Felt like he'd be better served to get out of the way if he'd move up a little bit, so he's done that.
Benny, they told him in the driver's meeting.
Oh, and Jeremy Mayfield. I thought he'd hit the wall, but he didn't. There he goes.
They were told in the driver's meeting if they were getting lapped, they moved to the high side of the racetrack, let the faster cars go by on the inside. So that's what he's doing.
Well, Benny, if he didn't hit the wall, he sure tried.
Watch this as he goes in the corner. Here's Earnhardt on the inside. Go down in the corner, and Jeremy, I don't think he hit the wall.
I don't think he did either. Great job of driving there.
Wow.
They almost made that a show car again.
He's got a donut there on the right side. Jeremy Mayfield led this race earlier, and John is with Robert Presley.
A lot of smoke coming from the rear end of Robert Presley's car. They pulled it behind the wall going to work. Robert had a rear end leak on the car, and it looks, are they changing the rear end now?
Yeah, it just seems like anything's going to happen. It's happened to us here lately, you know. Rear end gasket was leaking a little bit, and finally lost all the oil and burned it up. We knew it was a matter of time.
Well, Robert Presley behind the wall sitting patiently in his car as Charlie Presley, his brother and the crew, are going to change rear end gears.
So Robert sits patiently while on the racetrack. Earnhardt and Wallace are running together again, and that was a clean pass by Dale.
Well, I think that Rusty realizes that right now Earnhardt is a faster car, and he's not going to hold him up.
They're running 20th and 21st. Dale just took 20th spot from Rusty.
Rusty's still fighting that problem apparently with the toe end, not exactly the way it needs to be.
There is the leader of the race, Jeff Gordon, looking for 2 in a row here at Bristol on the high banks. He won the spring race.
He's pulling away from the second place car of Terry Labonte, but that 43 car, Bobby Hamilton, is still able to stay out in front of him.
Hamilton now is 4 laps down here. Jeff Gordon leading here at Bristol as a light sprinkle continues to fall. We'll be right back.
Gordon now beginning to run into some heavy traffic, and he finally did get around Bobby Hamilton and put Bobby down 4 laps again, but now coming up on Rich Bickle in the 40 car, which is currently being shown in 29th position.
And Greg Sachs in 31.
So we see while Gordon is trying to fight this traffic, that Terry Labonte, the Kellogg's car, has just about caught him. At least he's closed the gap by 50% anyway.
Yeah, he's much closer than he was.
Here's Bickle trying to get by the 31 car. Meanwhile, here comes Hamilton again. He wants to get that lap back.
on-track interval between Jeff Gordon and 16th place Dale Earnhardt. The interval has been reduced from 9.4 to 7.4 seconds.
And that is primarily because Gordon has caught these cars and is losing time on the racetrack. His lap speeds have fallen off a good half a second a lap.
There's the Earnhardt and Kenny Schrader, the Budweiser car.
Up ahead. It's John Andretti to your right.
Boy, John Andretti's looking at 335 laps before that car. Man, how depressing. Depressing, yeah.
A little contact there, looked like, between Earnhardt and Derek Cope. Schrader tried to get to the inside, but couldn't hit.
Well, thought he had the nose up there and was going to be able to make the pass, but couldn't quite do it.
13th spot. He started 7th.
Camera on top of Earnhardt's Good Race Chevrolet as he's chasing down Dale Jarrett, the Mexico car.
And this whole crowd is gaining on Jeff Gordon because he has never been able to get around the 40 car of Rich Bickle.
It's tough to pass on this racetrack, even if you're the leader and have the fastest car.
Dale goes around Dale back there for 12th place.
Earnhardt moved up another position, passing Dale Jarrett. Earnhardt has led more Goody's 500 laps than any other active driver. And he picks up another one going to the inside of Jeff Bodine.
Well, I'll tell you, he is really moving. Hard for him to pass, but whether they just move him over and let him go, they're not fighting him too hard. See how long Bill Elliott fights him.
You see Darrell Walker up there high on the racetrack, high out of the groove. I think Earnhardt stopped. I think he stopped since the other cars. His tires might be a little bit fresher in some of this competition.
You're right. They are.
Earnhardt has not led a lap so far, but has been as high as 4th and as low as 34th. Trying to move into the top 10 here behind Bill Elliott.
Ken Schrader finally made that pass on Derek Cope that we saw him try to make a little while ago.
Here's Dale working to the inside of Elliott, and he's got it.
Oh, and man.
Elliott makes a great save.
How did he save that car? Man, is the left rear tire flat? That's the next question. And Earnhardt was able to get by Ted Musgrave as well.
And there is the interval between Dale Earnhardt and the leader, Jeff Gordon, who has yet to get by Rich Bickle, and Bickle is sideways. Now, I thought maybe Jeff would be able to go to the inside and put him a lap down, but nope. Earnhardt just got by Mark Martin as we watch Jeff Gordon.
Earnhardt's going to be up front in just a minute.
Sure is. He is a man on the move.
He is gaining a lot. Well, you can see how much he has gained on Jeff Gordon.
Oh, and Jeff Gordon almost crashed coming off the second corner. He got a little bit high, and Labonte looked like he was going for the lead, and we can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 all nose to tail. Jeff Gordon looked like he was going to try to pass Rich Bickle on the outside up in turn 2. Let's see if we can see it. We see him going the corner a little bit high, and about right here, he's going to lose the back end.
Oh, and Bobby Hamilton goes inside and again gets another lap back. And Dale Earnhardt, we often are criticized for showing too much of Dale Earnhardt, but when you're passing cars here in Bristol like Dale is, it's the story of the race right now.
There's no doubt about it. The man is really on a tear.
He is.
It's awfully
really close to Dick Trickle there. Trickle said, I better back off. I don't have to go to the back again.
Trickle is running 6th.
And how in the world he gets so close to these cars?
Trevor's just a little lap down. Morgan is in the 30th position.
Ricky Rudd moves back out of the racetrack, and they call this guy the Intimidator, and he's intimidated Dick Trickle and others tonight. I wish he could.
3-car looking low, clear.
Rain away, I should say.
There's Michael Walker spotter. Michael is in 5th place. Earnhardt is 6th. Jeff Gordon the leader. Terry Labonte.
Low side. 17 right behind him now.
Michael tries to get in, but he can't do it because Mark is going to go by as well.
Lost 3 positions.
And Jeff Gordon has finally been able to get by Richard Bickle. There might have been some contact. I was not watching. I did see Bickle save the car as he came off the second corner. Let's watch as they go down in the corner. Here we see the 24.
Yep.
Probably was a little bit of contact as he entered the corner.
And Dale Earnhardt is trying to take over 3rd position. He's right behind Jimmy Spencer. Now he's beside and past Jimmy Spencer. And his sights now are on the 5-car Labonte, which is about 3 car lengths ahead and closing quickly.
This is absolutely amazing, guys.
This is a real performance.
Yeah, this racetrack that we say is so tough to pass on. He's driving right on by. Got a great race car.
He does have a great race car.
He's not passing just back markers. Now he's 2nd.
Now, Terry Labonte didn't put up a fight.
No.
He just absolutely did not put up a fight.
You know, a while ago when the fans were cheering that Earnhardt was sent to the back of the line, now the fans are standing, cheering, and saluting the performances that this man is doing.
You know, he did the same thing here in the spring. He started about 25th or something, and it had worked his way up to 3rd place before he made contact with Jeff Burton going down in turn 3.
Well, he does have a little bit of distance between himself and the leader, Jeff Gordon, so we're going to take a commercial break here and see if indeed Earnhardt can close in on the leader, Jeff Gordon, here at the Goody's 500 in Bristol.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing, from 1948 to 1998.
One of the many things to do here at Daytona, USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction, is to actually participate in a simulated pit stop. Get an opportunity to run the air wrenches and change the tires and jack the car up. Pretty exciting thing.
We got to do that before we leave. I got to beat you before we leave.
I'm sure you will. 1998, NASCAR celebrates its 50th anniversary, and this NASCAR marathon that you're watching is just one of many things that ESPN will do in conjunction with that celebration. We're watching the Goody's 500 from Bristol from August of 1995. Well, Jeff Gordon leads at this point, Benny, but the story is Dale Earnhardt, who has been sent to the back of the field for punting Rusty Wallace, but he has moved all the way back up to 2nd, and that is not easy on Bristol's racetrack.
It's a very difficult racetrack to pass on, but I told you it's exciting to see passing done on this racetrack. Over the years, this concrete racetrack more and more gets harder and harder to pass it. But Earnhardt tonight is not having any problem.
So will it be Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt or someone else in victory lane on this evening in August of 1995? Let's go back and find out. The commercial break was too long. Earnhardt did it. He took the lead from Jeff Gordon, but we have it to show for you.
Here they are coming off the 4th corner, start-finish line, down in turn 1, and he takes the lead. And I mean, Dale Earnhardt has a great race car tonight, but I think that he has fresher tires by about 20 or 30 laps fresher than Jeff Gordon and some of the other competitors.
Well, that accounts for a bit of the performance, but man, this has been something. On lap 116, he was 29th. And now at 195, he is in the lead.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yep. Jerry Punch has more from Earnhardt's pit.
Well, Bob, actually, I was down in the Jeff Gordon pit checking on. Now, Gordon last pitted on lap 52. That's when he changed tires. Earnhardt came in on lap 112, so you guys are exactly right. His tires are 60 laps fresher than anyone else running up in the top 5.
Wow, 60 laps, though. So,
yeah, and another thing, too, there's some of these drivers, we've gone pretty far here now on the green flag. They're going to have some green flag pit stops coming up here. He said lap 52. They've run 148 laps since then. Those were under caution, but what do you go here, 160, 70 laps?
And it's kind of unusual to go this long without a caution.
Especially as Bristol. Yep. And as close quarters as we run here, as these drivers run.
Here's a Fram Field summary. Is in the wall on the backstretch to the inside. The second time tonight, Rusty has met the concrete, and this appears to be much more serious than the first.
Oh, boy.
And the caution flag that we talked about being absent has displayed itself.
Shouldn't have mentioned it.
Yep.
Rusty trying to get the Miller Genuine Draft 4 started. He does.
Rusty Wallace has not had a finish lower than 7th in the last 23 short track races.
Wow. Here comes Earnhardt down pit road for a pit stop.
And the others on the lead lap. And there's a triple split for you, and here's Jerry.
And as you guys said, this caution is a break for Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte. You see the 3, 24, and 5 cars, a triple pit stop, watching all 3 cars. And Gordon would have had to come in and pit in about 18 laps, so this caution flag was definitely a break for the 24 and the 5. Left side car, he is down and away, 19-1. And 19-1 for Earnhardt, as he's also down and away. 21.6 for Terry Labonte and Kellogg's crew.
And Mark Martin, I'll have to give Steve Meal and that crew a great call because they moved up to 3rd place on the pit stop.
Mike Wallace out in 4th, then Labonte in 5th.
Mike Walker,
yep. So we have completed 206 laps now, and we are under caution. Here's John Kernan.
As you see Joe Nemechek's crew working on the car, you can see a little bit of that contact that he had out there earlier. And I'm not sure if maybe the overflow hose might have been snapped, but or it could have actually been the filler hose might have a leak in it, because when they went to fill up the car, you can see all of that fuel right there on pit road, and it's still leaking out of that, directly out of the trunk area. So we'll have to check this out, see exactly what the problem is. But Nemechek right now, sitting in his car, they're sitting here on pit road with another problem for them.
That, of course, was a result of the contact that Nemechek and Ricky Rudd had quite a few laps ago.
Exactly.
Ted Musgrave, we understand, had a problem exiting the pits. Let's take a look at it in replay. Finishing up here on the left side. Jack goes down.
It moves out. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
that tire came out. I don't think it did any damage. It looks like that it hit the side of the door.
So under caution once again, we get set for the restart with Dale Earnhardt up front, followed by Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. Let's take a look at our pit summary. Earnhardt and Gordon stayed the same. Terry Labonte fell 3 positions. Darrell Waltrip stayed the same, and Sterling Marlin came in 15th and comes out in 7th position.
But he's lost a lot of those positions. Sterling Marlin, I don't know, his car just didn't come up to speed on the first few laps. Still not going real good, but he's brought back a number of positions now back to 10th.
John Kernan has more.
On the pit stop, I'm not sure if there's a problem with the car now, but let me tell you what they did. They decided track position was very important. So they decided to go with right side tires only. And Sterling getting a little push there from late speed as they come out of turn 4. Gets up on that high side. He's probably going to lose some more spots. So maybe it wasn't the right strategy with those worn left side tires. The car is just a little too hard to drive.
I think you're right, John. Forced to the outside, and here comes the line to his inside. Bobby Labonte passes him. There's Mike Wallace. Let's show you once again what caused the most recent caution. Bill Elliott with a problem in 2.
It's like the right front tire goes flat. As he came off the corner, and we can see that he almost flipped over in the McDonald's Ford, and Rusty Wallace is going to come in here someplace.
There he is. Now from the roof cam of Schrader.
Jarrett went on the inside, Schrader went on the outside. Both of them got by okay.
Boy, he climbed that wall pretty good, didn't he?
He really did.
Wow.
You see that Earnhardt is driven away from Jeff Gordon by about 10 car lengths.
Both of them pulled away from Mark Martin. Now Mark is out of his lap record there for a number of laps after the green flag.
Last won this race in 1988. Mark Martin is in 3rd position. The 28 car of Dale Jarrett is moving up. He is currently 8th.
Right by, there we see Darrell Walter and Terry Labonte. Darrell Walter, his crew must have had a fabulous pit stop. He gained a couple of spots as Labonte's trying to get that spot back. And that is for 4th. And he will take 4th place. Darrell back to 5th place. Now Darrell can look in his rearview mirror and see his little brother.
Now here's an AutoZone off-track time, and you can see there why Marlin picked up so many positions. Total off-track time was 35.1 for Terry Labonte. Sterling Marlin, however, his total was only 26.8.
But it did work for Sterling Marlin because he has worked his way all the way back to the 24th position.
Yep.
And it won't be over 15 or 20 laps until Dale Earnhardt will be catching him. A lap down. At the rate he's going now, at least.
Labonte 4th. Darrell Waltrip is in the top 5. No big surprise there. We understand that Darrell had a 17.4 point pit stop, 4 tires from the backstretch. That's pretty impressive. I wondered how he got up there because as we watched them come off the front pit, we didn't see Darrell, and all of a sudden he was 4th in the lineup. And Jerry Punch is with Rusty Wallace.
Well, the man who won here a year ago is out of his car, and Rusty, the evening got sort of wild before it even got started.
Yeah, it just wasn't my night, I don't guess. I started off with a spin coming off the turn 4 between me and Earnhardt. Got the lap back out going, and the towing got knocked out. We got him readjusted. Then a 94 car crashed coming off of turn 2 there. And when that happened, the 8 car couldn't get slowed down. We saw it. I got slowed down. He didn't see it, and it wasn't his fault. Just one of those racing deals.
How bad is the car hurt? Can you get back in?
Well, it tore all the steering linkage up, but the frame's not bent or anything. So we're going to try to get some laps and try to get some points.
Well, he just manages to keep a good attitude. The guys behind us, meanwhile, are using a torch to try to rebuild the front of the car while Rusty stands here and watches him wait.
And we're watching the Waltrips on the racetrack right now. Darrell closely pursued by Michael.
Darrell is in 5th place, and Michael 6th, and there's the leader. Earnhardt still pulling away from Jeff Gordon.
His average finish in the Goody's 500 is 6th, and that is the best among the active drivers. And as I said, he has won 8 times, most recently in this race, 1988. Been quite a night for Dale Earnhardt. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon is in 2nd position. And Earnhardt is coming up on a whole bunch of traffic.
We can see also, we talked about Sterling Marlin falling back in the Kodak Film Chevrolet, the orange car, yellow car. Jimmy Spencer, the Smoking Joe car, also, who was running up front in the top 5, has fallen back. Is currently in a 23rd spot.
He made a couple of pit stops on that caution, Benny. He came out of the pits good in about 10th or 11th place, and then the next lap he came back into the pits. I'm talking about Jimmy Spencer. So that gave him bad track position. Put him back in the back.
Oh, Jeremy Mayfield spins coming off the corner, and also the 29 car spins, and they're still...
Good job,
Oh, the track. Man. Earnhardt did weave his way through unscathed. But there are a lot of damaged cars, including Dick Trickle and Jeremy Mayfield.
Jimmy Spencer just spun coming into turn 4. Boy, this car is really banged up. Now, there's Spencer, but that 98 car...
The right rear tire's flat on the 23 car is the reason he spun out, and 15 car looks like he has some pretty heavy damage. Also, the 98 car, Jeremy Mayfield, we can see that the RCA car is torn up pretty doggone good. Wow. Look at the radiator, all that water coming out of the radiator.
He's trying to get going again on the backstretch, but it's not going to work for him, I don't think. Let's take a look at it. This was almost a track blocking incident.
There we see the 29 car of Grissom just getting in the back of Jeremy Mayfield. Now, the 12 car, Jerry Cope runs in the back of Grissom. Grissom spins.
Trickle hits the 98 car.
And the 43 car runs into both of them.
Craven is involved.
And there's Spencer comes in. That's where he got his flat tire. Sterling Marlin came up there and stopped.
Now, this is what Dale Earnhardt saw.
Like his room there.
You know, he almost got nailed by Morgan Shepherd, didn't he?
And Morgan was trying his best to get a lap back.
Earnhardt just passed him the lap before.
Jeff Gordon had a tough time weaving his way through, but did. Jeremy Mayfield, however, took the brunt of that incident, and he is out of the car okay. But it does bring about another caution here at Bristol. The 8 car of Jeff Burton is also in turn number 2 momentarily stopped. Now he gets going again. I'm not sure what that was all about, are you?
I don't know, the car was just parked down there.
And today, you know, it had those starter spins, but it won't catch nothing. That's what it was doing. I finally jabbed in reverse and let it roll back in it, and then it's okay.
So he cut off.
Yep.
Okay.
Nearing the halfway point of the Goody's 500, it is still Dale Earnhardt at the front of the field, followed by Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, and Darrell Waltrip under caution.
There's some nice folks.
Bill Weber is with Jeremy Mayfield.
Well, we talked about it being a fast and violent track. You had a fast car with a violent finish, but a great run. I know you're disappointed, but tomorrow morning you'll remember how good you were.
Yeah, you know, I hate it for the RCA4 tonight. You know, we seemed like we had a good car there to start with, and we got up front by pit stops and cut a tire down and kind of got back and lost our track position. And it's just so fast here, you know, it don't take much. A little bit of bump's going to knock you out, and it's just racing.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a lesson out there, too, Jeremy, when some of those faster cars wanted to get by you. We heard Tony talking to you a little bit. You learned a lesson on the track about how to move some traffic.
Yeah, it's just an experience thing, you know. I just got to keep working at it and just get tougher, you know. I mean, that's what it's all about, and just gain some experience and hopefully get them next year here.
And don't bet against that, because that's a rising star in this Winston Cup Series. Jeremy Mayfield done for tonight, but we'll see him again next week at Darlington, guys.
He, among others, were knocked around like billiard balls in that accident over there on the backstretch. We'll show you the perspective of Morgan Shepherd now from his roof cam.
Wow. Just threaded that needle and drove right on through there, didn't he?
Earnhardt was unbelievable.
Earnhardt was unbelievable, picking his way through.
We can see, you know, Randy Owens has a song that he says, there's angels among us that look over us. Well, that angel riding with Dale Earnhardt is a great driver. You know that?
Well, Jeff Gordon did the same thing.
Yeah.
He followed him right through the same area.
Bad news was that Sterling Marlin lost a lap. Jerry? Guys, after Earnhardt had a disappointing 35th place finish in Michigan last week, he wanted to pick the spirits of the guys up and let them know that luck was still on their side. So on Monday, he took a live possum to the Richard Childress shop and turned it loose to everyone's surprise. And the guys started laughing and chuckling as this possum danced around between all the cars. And one of the crew members said, "Hey, now how are we going to catch this rascal?" Earnhardt said, "Hey, no problem at all." He walked right up to the possum and picked it up by the tail and carried it out. He said, "Hey, you've heard of good luck horseshoes? We've got a good luck possum."
Good story. Well, let's see what that lucky possum did for him as we take a look at his perspective.
There just isn't room. Watch this. Man, but there was room. That's amazing.
Just enough room for the car to go through, and Earnhardt found it.
Like I said, that angel was a heck of a driver. Earnhardt, Gordon, and Martin, top three in the points. No, Sterling Marlin isn't in there, is he? Terry Labonte, Walter, the Walter boys, 5th and 6th. Jerry Cole back in 15th spot. Lake Speed started 36th up to 14th.
John Kernan has a report on Sterling Marlin.
Well, remember last time Sterling came in and to make up track position, they took on right side tires only, went back out and went straight to the back. Now he's a lap down. They came in under this caution, changed 4 tires. They found out, guys, the left front tire was completely worn out on Marlin's car.
And as we indicated, he is a lap down now, lining up to the inside.
Now he has fresher tires than does Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, so maybe Sterling can get that lap back. And the reason he lost a lap, he stopped over there in the crash. And
he was not far. I mentioned that he was not far in front of Earnhardt. Earnhardt was coming up on him at a pretty good pace. But he did stop for that crash, and that way Earnhardt get by, put him a lap down. Okay, we're ready to go racing again, guys.
Green comes out on lap 245. We were cautioned for 10 laps.
That 31 car is Greg Sachs and Jimmy Spencer smoking.
Oh, and he has contact with Greg Sachs and sends him into the wall, and Spencer also crashes, and so do a lot of others.
And Mark Martin, the pole sitter, goes around about 2 times.
Like Darrell Waltrip also was involved.
Dale Jarrett had to stop to keep from being involved and lost a bunch of positions.
Rich Bickle was involved.
We can see there's some pretty good damage to the right side of the Valvoline Ford and also damage to the Kendall oil car.
Here it is again.
Never seen the smoke in the 23 car. I don't know what that is. Looks like the right rear tire smoking. But he tries to go on the outside of the 31 car, and they make contact. And here comes Mark. And the 4 car is in the back of Mark, and he goes up, almost gets Labonte. Terry Labonte was fortunate.
Yeah, Mark got knocked around pretty good.
Darrell Walter came to a dead stop there also.
There's another angle.
Not sure what that smoke is in the 23 car, but anyway, nevertheless, he's going to make contact with the 31 right there. That's Greg Sachs, by the way, in the 31. And here comes Mark and Sterling and the 40 and the 87. And the Walter boys stopped.
Mark Martin is on pit road. Here's Jerry.
The damage primarily to the front and to the right side. Martin said both vehicles right side tires and will work on it as he leads into changing right side tires. Bill, ever what they do down in Darrell Walter's pit?
Well, they're going to change 4 tires back there, Jerry. Actually, they just didn't do that time. Put some fuel, and Darrell will be back. They're going to go ahead and pull away the sheet metal. He's going to have it rubbing on the left front, and he'll be back in next time around. He has the last pit back here, so he will have a slight advantage trying to get back out. Mark Martin back on pit road, Jerry.
And they thought better of it, Bill, and decided to go ahead and come back in while the caution stayed out and change left side tires. He saw all that debris that he had to go through up there, and plus he looped the car around and probably flat spotted the tires. But as far as the sheet metal damage is concerned, it is the front bumper that's pushed in where it says Thunderbird, and they're still trying to beat the right front fender away from the tire. A big concern when they go back to green, make sure that there may be a tire rubbing in the right front. How about back with you, Bill Weber?
The 12-time winner here at Bristol back on pit road. They showed the fueler back in the rear of the car. Now they pull the sheet metal away. They're going to go to the left side. They're putting on left side tires. Still going to get the front left tire off. Now they pull the sheet metal away. Still working to make sure they can get that Goodyear Eagle back on there. The front squeeze of the knocked out of the car. The hood is bashed down on the Western Auto Chevrolet. They continue to hammer away at the front left wheel well. That would drink for Darrell, waiting for the cars to come back around for the caution. The left front back on, tighten the lugs. They have to come back in. He's got some loose metal on the front left side of that car.
And Darrell Waltrip's going to have a problem overheating because we can see the nose of the car. The grill is mashed together, and also he's closed up the opening in the bottom. I don't think he's going to get enough air in to keep the water cool.
He has never dropped out of a race here at Bristol for anything other than engine problems, never for a crash. Here is the look from Mark Martin's car.
Well, that hole just closed up on him, and it closed up for a lot of people back there.
So now we understand how Darrell Waltrip's nose got beat up.
1 lap to green.
And in 1 lap, we'll have run exactly halfway. So this race
will be official very soon. John?
Yes,
Dale Jarrett fitted that time for 4 tires, no damage to the car. They just were pretty far back after that and wanted to go ahead and take on fresh tires. But more importantly, in another couple of laps, Larry McReynolds' wife is going to call all those hotel rooms. Remember back during our rain-filled show?
That's right.
Larry had to guarantee those, told his wife, said, as soon as we hit lap 251, call those hotel rooms and cancel the reservations.
Once again, let's take a look at Morgan Shepherd going through this crash. Looks like he only had a little bit of contact with Dave Marcus. The green comes out. We are back to racing. And we are also halfway. Next time around, it will be an official race, and we'll not have to worry about coming back tomorrow. Like we may be able to go 500 because the rain is holding off.
I think we're going to be here tomorrow.
Eastern time, it will be tomorrow in an hour and about 7 minutes. Now remember, Sterling Marlin there is second in line, but he's a lap down. Who was that?
Yeah, he got very sideways.
John Andretti and Jimmy Spencer have contact. Now Andretti and Michael Wallace are pounding on each other.
Musgrave in the 87 car of Nemechek. See Bobby Labonte, the Interstate Battery car, and Derek Cope. Mane and tail.
Yep.
17 cars on the lead lap.
Marlin getting a lap back.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jeff tried to follow him, but he couldn't quite get it in there.
Had to slam on the brakes to keep from hitting him. First 3 running right together on the racetrack now. Earnhardt, Gordon, and Labonte, and Michael Waltrip isn't too far back.
That was a courtesy move. Allowed Sterling Marlin to get back to the lead.
Could very well be. Piece of debris on the racetrack right at the start-finish line. And see Doyle Ford calling up the tower now and telling them what he thinks it is. And if it's, I guess if he feels like it's a piece of metal, they will throw the caution.
Well,
and the caution flag comes out. Yep. So I guess Doyle told him that it was a piece of metal and thrown the caution and go ahead and pick it up. And Sterling Marlin now gets his lap back.
Yep. 243 laps to go. Our 9th caution of the evening is waving over Bristol.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing from 1948 to 1998.
Back at Bristol, where pit road is now open, here comes Earnhardt, Gordon, Labonte, Michael Waltrip, and Ted Musgrave in for their pit stops.
Also Jeff Bodine in. He's down by the Union 76 bulb. Jerry Punches and Earnhardt pit.
And they opted to come in and go ahead and change 4 tires. You saw as Gordon is out, and so is Terry Labonte. Here goes Labonte. He's the first out, then Gordon, and then Michael Waltrip. But they're going ahead and change all 4 tires and clean the windshield. Now the Goodrich Chevy is down and away.
I guess they figure as good as that car was when he came back to the front earlier here that... Go ahead, have a whole lot to lose. There's Bobby Labonte in the pits.
We've
seem to pay a lot of attention to the windshield, but I haven't seen any rain here lately. I don't know exactly, but Earnhardt's crew was paying a lot of attention to the windshield, as was Bobby Labonte's crew.
By the way, for those of you tuning in for Sports Center, we are going to go well over our expected off time because we are just past the halfway point of this race that was delayed by rain. And so Sports Center will be following, of course, our live coverage of this event. We're on lap 261 out of 500.
And if you've never seen a stock car race before, hang on, folks. You'll enjoy it.
This is fun. Here is Earnhardt's pit stop.
David Smith puts a jack on the car. Andy Petrie changing that right front tire. Oh! He tried to jump the tire and almost fell. Jerry?
As you saw that David Smith now almost slipping, getting around. Actually, what they were going to do is come in and just take on 2 right side tires. But Dale told Andy Petrie, he said, look, our car works better when you put all 4 new tires on. So they decided to go ahead and change all 4 on the Goodwin Chevrolet. Meanwhile, John Kernan is caught up with Ward Burton.
Jerry Ward has climbed out from his car. And Ward, y'all look like you're running pretty good, but what put you out? What put you behind the wall?
Well, I saw a couple of guards get up together out there in 3 or 4 in that restart. Missed the wreck, came back around. A couple of guys were dicing around for position. Must have ran over a bumper guard or something that cut the oil pressure belt in the motor. But man, the NBA car was coming on. Every time we make a change, it got better. We were past halfway, still in the lead lap, running 13th. We might have had a top 10, but we'll get them next week at Darlington.
I was going to ask you, new team, new ride for you. You looking really forward to going to the Lady in Black?
Yeah, I really am. All these guys take racing real serious. We got a great sponsor. We got Pontiac Chevrolet behind us. We're going to be all right.
All right, Ward Burton still with a smile, but his car is parked behind the wall.
It is being taken behind the wall at the moment as it goes down toward turn number 1. Here you can see a little bit of moisture falling, not a whole lot though. Well, this is Bristol, isn't it?
Missing the rear bumper.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some green flag racing here in just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but Rusty Wallace is back up there too. There's some more of those cars. There's Jeremy Mayfield back out there.
Now that really looks like a modified.
Yeah, it does. Anything for points.
Here's Derek Cope is the leader of the race.
Right, and this is the first time that he has ever led here at this facility. He is in his 16th race. Next, Spencer under the fence. Joe Nemechek is 3rd in line at Lake Speed. But Lake Speed is actually 2nd in the serial scoring.
Derek Cope had a good qualifying run. Qualified about 10, I believe. Well, someplace in there.
As a matter of fact, that race car, maybe not that particular one, but that team held the track record. Yesterday, John Allen set the record here.
We see Spencer, the second car, the yellow car. Something is bottoming out on that car. He went down in turn 1 a little bit ago, and something bottomed out, and he went up the racetrack. We see Nemechek has been able to get by.
Spencer is 2 laps down, being shown to the lead in position. There's only one car that is 1 lap down, and that is Nemechek. Everybody else is 2 or more laps down that are not in the lead lap, and there are 18 cars in the lead lap.
Let's take a look at our Budweiser race recap. Derek Cope is currently the leader. He has led only 6, however, of the 266 circuits. We've had 7 lead changes, 9 caution periods for 72 laps, and the average speed is a little more than 77 miles an hour. Taking up 5 bonus points for leading the race include current points leader Jeff Gordon, then Earnhardt, Mayfield, Martin, Cope, Speed, and Craven. And finally, those that are out of the race, only 3 cars: Ricky Rudd, Dick Trickle, and Ward Burton.
There's Jeff Burton, Ward's younger brother, going by Jimmy Spencer.
Clear.
There we see Mark Martin, who was their pole sitter, the Valvoline Ford.
And he doesn't seem to be hurting now from that crash that he got in. And the car seems to be working well for him. He's running in 5th position and moving right along.
And going by Spencer,
4th, and Mark Martin 5th. Back of that group, here's Michael Waltrip, Jeff Bodine, and Bobby Labonte.
12th, 13th, and 14th.
The yellow car, Michael Waltrip,
been running up in the top 5 most of the evening. And we can see that Jeff Gordon is right in front of him, so Jeff Burton, the Rebestos car by Rick Mast.
This Burton is hurt. There goes Mark Martin 4th. Darrell Walton will go by and pick up 5th. Rick's got down into the group. Dale Jarrett's going to go by him as well. Terry into 6th.
Again, if you're just tuning in, expecting to see Sports Center, we were, and Burton is wide coming out of the corner. If you're tuning in for Sports Center, we had a rain delay at this event, and we've got 223 laps to go. Sports Center will follow.
25 laps.
Don't know if there's anything wrong with Jeff Burton's car, but he got caught up on the outside, and there's Michael Waltrip getting caught up on the outside, losing some.
Hang in there. 7 did it. You're right.
Evidently it had some contact with Jeff Bodine. You ever see?
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
Ooh, and the 18 ran in the back of the 7 car.
There's Rusty Wallace, who is 47 laps down in 33rd after 2 incidents with the wall. Musgrave right behind Ken Schrader.
Jared Cope is widening his lead. Got himself a good lead out there over Lake Speed.
Ted Hose on the window net of the 25 car. That's to get air in the car to go in the helmet. It's for fresh air to go in the car for the driver.
We were talking earlier about the great record that Dale Earnhardt has in terms of finishing in the top 5 here with a 50% average, 16 and 32 races. There's a person who has even a better top 5 finishing average here at Bristol, finishing in the top 5 in 17 of 20 races. Any idea who that might be? As
17 of 20, that's pretty good.
Yeah. You would say that since it's you and you know it. Look at everybody go to the inside of Schrader.
And as we watch that battle, Derek Cope is pulled away. Well, now Lake Speed is beginning to move in a little bit on the straight era products number 12 Ford.
You mentioned this is the first time that he has ever led at Bristol. It's only the second time that he has led all year. We're talking about Cope. He did lead 2 laps at Richmond. But Lake Speed is closing in here.
And so is Mark Martin, a pole sitter.
Yep. Darrell Waltrip is still hanging in there. He's in 4th place. Don't count him out of this thing by any means.
Believe me, I did not. Somebody might, but I didn't count Darrell Waltrip out if he doesn't overheat.
Yeah.
Oh, Lake Speed has closed up right on the back bumper.
He sure has. He's within a car length and closing in.
There's Dale Earnhardt closing up on Dale Jarrett. Jarrett's running in 5th place. Earnhardt back to 6th after making that.
Oh, some contact, a lot of contact.
Ooh, man, they rubbed all the way through 2.
And now they're going to try it again.
And Lake is going to take the lead.
And we can see that something's bottoming out in Lake's car.
Lake Speed giving that Span car putting it right here tonight. Here's Martin taking 2nd from Cope.
Darrell Waltrip coming right up there, moving right in. He wants to take over 3rd, and he's going to do it. Something apparently has gone wrong with Terry Cope's car.
Dale Jarrett's next.
They're 5th and 6th.
But now Jerry Cope's car just all of a sudden has gone away, and Dale Jarrett closes up front on the back bumper. Now there's another car that's gone away. Jeff Gordon is having all kinds of problems right now. Coming off turn 2, there's Jeff Godin right behind him. He has lost 3 or 4 spots. Where's he running?
He's back at 10th now, Benny.
His car just not handling the way it was.
Now Mark Martin closes in on the leader. And our pole sitter is still in the hunt here.
We have a report that maybe Jeff Gordon might have taken on 2 tires on that pit stop. So that could be
it looks like the 4 tires is the way to go tonight.
John, what's the story?
Yes, I just talked to Ray Evernham. They took on only right side tires, and Jeff is complaining that the car is very, very loose.
Yeah. Earnhardt got around Jarrett. Moves Earnhardt into 5th.
Closing in on 4th place Cope. They're the top 3.
Lake Speed, the blue number 9. Mark Martin, the number 6 car, and Darrell Waltrip in 17, the Western Auto Chevrolet. Fords in a Chevrolet.
Boy, wouldn't a spam burger taste good about that, huh? Here's an Autolite field summary. Has passed Derek Cope and is now 4th.
Earnhardt's beaming in on those 3 cars right there, too. There he comes into the picture.
18 cars on the lead lap.
Derek Cope's 12 car, the main and tail car that led just a moment ago, has reported to his crew that his automobile all of a sudden is very, very tight.
Here's Jeff trying to move up 1 position on the 23 car.
And he's about to lose a spot to Bodine.
That is not 4 positions since Jimmy is a couple of laps down. Jeff's on the lead lap, so is Jeff Bodine.
Look at this. Look at this. Darrell's on the outside. Earnhardt's on the inside.
Oh, trying to get around.
Man,
Mark Martin.
And Mark lets Darrell go, lets Earnhardt go.
Wow. Martin fell from 2nd to 4th there.
Darrell Waltrip passing Mark, trying to pass him on the outside. That isn't like Darrell Waltrip.
He's got fire in his eyes.
Uh-oh, he's about to lose 2nd place here.
You got to salute the run of Lake Speed. He was a provisional starter.
That was 36th or something.
Yeah, he's leading the race right now, but Darrell Waltrip is right behind.
Bill, what's the story with Speed and Waltrip?
Well, first of all, with Lake Speed, he had just radioed in that he thought his tires were going away, and next thing you know, he slipped around Cope and into first place. His crew has told him to dig, 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 because rain is coming. As for Darrell, he's got those 4 fresh tires. The crew told me the damage to the front of that car is mainly cosmetic. Darrell's had good finishes the last 2 times we were here, and he looks pretty good right now as well.
In fact, he is the leader of the Goody's 500, having taken it from Lake Speed, and now Dale Earnhardt is 2nd. Here comes Mark Martin to 3rd. Cope is moving up to 4th, and suddenly Lake Speed goes from 1st to 5th. But Darrell Waltrip leads the Goody's 500.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's not, shouldn't be a shock, should it?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Nobody drives this racetrack better than he does.
There is Sterling Marlin. He is a lap down. No, he's in 8th position. Yeah, he was a lap down, but remember he got his lap down, and this car is on the move.
Now Earnhardt going for the lead in turn 3.
Oh, and he's going to get it.
Darrell is good while he lasted.
I just can't catch a break anymore. Why did it rain 2 laps?
Why did it just pour down?
So Dale Earnhardt has taken back command of this NASCAR Winston Cup event, but look at Darrell Waltrip, who is not willing to let him stay up there. Couldn't retake the advantage, however. Martin third, then Derek Cope. And Lake Speed running in 5th position. 309 circuits completed. Back with more in a moment. The leader of the race, with whom you are riding right now, is Dale Earnhardt. He has led 76 laps so far. Jeff Gordon has led the most to this point, 86. But Gordon, as we indicated, has fallen back and is now in 12th position. And there is Richard Childress looking for another possible win here at Bristol. Now let's take a look at the top 5 in NASCAR Winston Cup points and where they are running. Jeff Gordon started 4th, now 12th. Sterling Marlin is now 7th. Mark Martin is 3rd. Earnhardt, of course, the leader, and Ted Musgrave is 14th. And a car at the bottom of the track in turn 4 is Ricky Craven.
Yeah, it looks like it has been, and this might be a break for Terry Labonte. He had just got passed by about 3 cars on the last lap. Sterling Marlin went by him, and so did Dale Jarrett and Jeff Bodine. So that's what the situation is for Labonte's Kellogg's car.
Also, Jeff Gordon, break for him because here all the leaders come down pit road.
Yep. You have to dodge that car sitting up there, but
let's see who does what on pit road. Marlin is already receiving service on his car. That's Earnhardt at the top and Mark Martin in the middle as the crews go to work. Here's Jerry.
And they will change 4 tires on the Goodrich Chevy. Remember, last time the 5-car Labonte had Gordon only changed right side tires. That's where he showed up on the racetrack. The 4-car is out. Here comes Marlin. Here comes 48 Jarrett. And Mark Martin will beat Dale Earnhardt. Let's in the back pits and Bill Weber.
Darrell Waltrip is in. They cranked her round of wedge in. His car was loose. It's 4 tires. Their fuel window is about 175 laps. We're on 323 now. Darrell's away.
Mark Martin with the best pit stop here on the front stretch. A little under 20 seconds.
Tell you what, Dale Jarrett didn't do too bad because he now is 3rd place in that
17.3 seconds for the 2018.
Ricky Craven. Looks like he's having trouble getting out of the car.
It does. The tow truck has hooked the car up, but Ricky is still in there. Now he's getting out.
Oh, there he is.
So Ricky's okay, and the 10th caution is waving over the speedway. Here's John Kernan with an update on Jeff Gordon.
Well, they took a rubber out of the right rear, and also they found out, remember we said that Jeff had gotten loose? The right rear tire was going flat. It was almost to the point of being flat, but now they've got this brake under caution. They came in, changed all 4 tires, took a rubber out of the right rear. We'll have to see what that did to the handling characteristics, but the reason it was loose, the tire had gone flat on the right rear.
Man, oh man, what a huge, huge break this caution flag was. Man.
That's the thing the championships are made of. It's Martin, Earnhardt, Jarrett Cope, and Terry Labonte at the end of 324 of 500 laps in the Goodies 500. And Mark Martin comes back into the pits, Jerry.
And apparently they thought they might have a tire going down on the right side. They're also going to take a look and make sure they don't have a tire rubbing. They jack the car up a little bit, make sure the tires are okay, they're not rubbing, and they will drop the jack, and he is away because we'll have green next time by.
And boy, this is going to put him from the lead to 18th place. There are 18 cars on the lead lap.
Man, for Mark Martin.
That really was a tough break. I thought I was going to say we was going to see who had the best car, Mark Martin or Dale Earnhardt. Martin, remember, qualified on the pole. Earnhardt back in 7th spot, but Earnhardt seems to have adjusted his car, and it's pretty doggone good right now. And it was interesting to see if he and Mark Martin, what kind of race is going to happen now.
We won't see it.
We will not see that. We'll see a race between Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt.
The Dales are up front as the green comes out once again. Cope is in 3rd, then Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, and Lake Speed.
Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt down into the turn.
Even
Nemechek also, and Dale Jarrett's going to take the lead.
How about that? Dale Jarrett leads the Goodies 500, and Derek Cope looks for second. He has contact with Earnhardt. He nearly spins. He forces Dale way up high on the racetrack. That was as close to crashing as you can come.
Man, oh man, I'm telling you. Meanwhile, there's Rusty Wallace and Joe Nemechek, both those cars laps down, and there's the leader of the race at 28, Dale Jarrett. Second place car is Derek Cope.
Dale started 16th. His lowest was 20th, and of course he is now the leader of the race.
And he needs to get by those cars. I think he's faster than both of them right now if he can just move around.
Labonte tries to take second, make that third from Earnhardt.
And he has a run. Can't make it. You can see all the yellow is rubbed off the tires on the left side of Earnhardt's car. I wonder if he might have a tire going flat on that 3 line.
Labonte may have. I thought he had even a better run that time, but still not able to get to the inside of Dale.
Derek Wallace moved out of the way of both Joe Nemechek and Jarrett. And what did you start to say about Cope?
Well, maybe with that contact with Earnhardt didn't do him any good either, but he is running pretty well.
Yeah, he might be picking up a little bit on.
What about it, John Kernan?
Well, Derek, right after that, radioed the crew and said, hey, guys, I think I might have damaged the right front tire. But then you see him out there on the track. He's holding his own in second place right now. So he's being very cautious, hoping that he doesn't have that right front tire going down. But possibly they might have also fit some sheet metal in on it, so you might want to watch that. You can see that a lot better from your vantage point than we can down here on pit road.
Well, he's staying right with Jarrett. Now, in fact, closing in a little bit.
Yeah, they both, Joe Nemechek got very loose coming off of 2, and both of them got by over there, and both of them had to slow down. As Brett Woodine moves to the high side like they told him to do in the driver's meeting.
Well, let's re-emphasize that it was excellent work by the Robert Yates team in the pit area for one of the reasons why Dale Jarrett is up in the lead.
Yeah, he was running 6th place, came out in 3rd, and then Mark Martin went to the pits. That put him up to 2nd, and then got by Earnhardt on that first lap of the restart, put him up to 1st.
Joe Nemechek has again lost his 2nd lap. Here's Terry Labonte moving to the inside of him. Now, Rusty Wallace is, what, about 46 laps down? 47. 28th position. Here's some side-by-side activity in the back. Marlin, Musgrave, Michael Waltrip.
And you see our point leader back there, Jeff Gordon. That's the very tail end of that. Right now, Jeff Gordon, the points leader, is running in 13th spot.
Here's Jeff. Just behind Rick Mast.
Here's...
Uh-oh, what's this all about?
Oh, the 30 spins up right in front of Rick Mast.
Man, that was close for Jeff Gordon because he almost got collected. And Michael Waltrip is also involved. Man, oh man. He was, of course, the one that started it all. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, got left front, left rear.
Mast damage on the left front.
All right, Mike, is he coming in? He's going around. He's okay. He's going around.
Dale Jarrett slowed down and let both of them get back in the lead lap. What a lot of damage to Rick's car.
The left front tire is completely flat now. Let's watch again. Here's the 30 car. He's trying to go by Jimmy Spencer, and Spencer comes down. They make contact. Drives Michael down on the apron of the racetrack, and there's just no handling the car down there.
Boy, he almost hit the end of the pit wall, didn't he?
And he goes up right in front of Rick Mast. And you're right, almost in front of Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon just barely got by. Here it is again.
Michael trying to go by on the inside, makes contact with Spencer, and then gets down on the flat. And Venus says no traction down there. Mark Martin is back in the pits, and Jerry Punch is there.
And they will come back in and change all 4 tires. By the way, when he came back in a moment ago, just prior to the restart, I told you they thought they had a vibration. They're making a chassis adjustment in the right rear. The concern was the right rear tire changer didn't think he had gotten on the lug nuts. He thought some of the lug nuts had fallen off and wasn't sure how many he did have tight. So rather than take a chance, rather than safe than sorry, they brought him back in and checked the right side tires. They've now changed all 4 tires.
Here's Mark Martin's crew cam. Had to take evasive action.
So did Ken Schrader. Schrader went all the way down on the flat and came back out.
Tell you, Michael Walker took a pretty heavy lick to the left rear. I don't imagine that. I would think he probably bent the rear housing on these pins all tight.
Michael has made his way to pit road.
4 tires on. Tommy, work on that spoiler. We'll get the gas in it first. Middle of the back stretch. Get the 4 tires on and then we'll come back. Middle of 3 and 4.
Down where the pace car is.
All right, just pull it out there a little bit. All right, let it down. Let it down. Hey, we got to fix the gas spout. We can't get it in, so when he comes back in, we'll work on that, get gas in it, getting that spoiler up. Somebody get a hammer, get some pliers, and get ready to... All right, Tommy and Bill, and then it'll be Rambo, Mike, me, and Darren on the back. Just the 2, us 4, and the guys put gas in.
Trying to be sure they didn't have too many men over.
Going into 3. We stayed on the lead lap, y'all. Let's keep that up. Make sure we get out of here. Middle of 3 and...
He got some gasoline in it anyway. There's only 150 laps to go, so he probably could run the rest of the way on gasoline if he got...
Get this cleaned up and come back in, take a look at this, make sure everything's all right. Get that spoiler hammered up and get some tape ready to put on if we need it.
Looks like they...
Here he comes. 3,300, Michael.
Pretty good 100 patchwork.
Hey, Brian, count this. Make sure there's guys. Don't anybody come over, but what's over here right now? Right here, Mike. Middle of the back stretch. Hey, don't break it off. All right, all right, all right. So 3 and 4. Coming in a 4. Go ahead. All right, it's gonna be 1 to go.
I don't think they got a minimum angle here tonight, but it was 65 degrees. I doubt if it would be exactly right.
Well, the lineup now begins for the restart. And Bill is with Rick Mast.
Rick is still able to smile. A couple of weeks ago, you told me the first half of this season was the most frustrating for you you've ever had. Obviously, the second half hadn't started off too good.
And got a lot better. You know, we were off tonight. The last stop, we made a change, and the car felt the best that it felt all night on the last restart. Mike and Spencer got together. Mike went to the inside. Nothing he could do, nothing I could do. They just shouldn't have got together to begin with. But it's Bristol, man. Saturday Night Thunder.
Rick Mast is out, and so is the green flag.
Just about to come out at least. Aaron gets a pretty good jump on the field as, whoa, and Derek Cope didn't go anywhere, and Dale Earnhardt nailed him in the rear end.
Looks like Derek Cope might have missed a shift or something, or the carburetor loaded up.
Just didn't take off when he stood on the gas. In any case, Cope held on to second position. But Jarrett got a real good advantage off the fourth corner.
I don't know what's wrong with Earnhardt's car, because he didn't take off good again, even though he was about to run all over Cope.
Yeah, I thought he would
take off. Yeah, but he's just not up to the speedway he was earlier. And yellows it out again.
It's debris on the racetrack.
There it is.
Back stretch.
Rusty Wallace coming out trying to get a lap back.
look at that restart again from the crew cam of Earnhardt.
Nailed him pretty good.
John Kernan.
Derek did just a few moments ago radio his crew, Jimmy Finnick, his crew chief, and say, I missed a shift. I might have over-revved the motor, and I might have damaged the motor. So they will probably be coming down pit road this time by to check some things out. At least, well, now he is not coming down pit road. He couldn't have anyway because Morgan Shepherd was on his inside.
Well, the front end of the 3 car is damaged pretty well.
Watch, we'll see Derek Cope miss that shift. Watch, you see the Bubba smoke? That's when he missed the shift.
Yep. Although you only got one, you got a pretty good eye there, Pete. Jared Cope, Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, and Darrell Waltrip, the top 5 here in Bristol. We'll be right back.
Look at the 3 cars. Smoke coming out of the back of that machine.
They just took the green flag, and the smoke started pouring from the 3 car when he accelerated.
Was the car overheated?
Well, yeah. You wonder if that damage that was done to the front end when he hit Derek Cope on that other restart might have either shut off the air or did something.
Here is the restart just moments ago. See, the smoke started to pour from that car immediately.
Immediately, yes.
And now he's got Darrell Waltrip on the outside of him, Terry Labonte on his bumper.
And Darrell Waltrip goes to 3rd place. Here comes Terry Labonte to 4th.
And Derek Cope is all over Dale Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett, best short track finish of this year, was 6th here at Bristol. And Jarrett is reporting that he's loose. John Kernan, what's the story?
A very loose condition for Dale Jarrett. In fact, they've already made their decision on the last pit stop, which is their last pit stop. They will make a track bar adjustment because the car has just gotten very, very loose. That was what Dale was complaining about before we had this last caution period.
Well,
and trouble over in turn 3.
John Andretti spins, so does Lake Speed. No big problem, though, and there is not a caution. Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is now.
Well, maybe Dale Jarrett can get in and get his rear panhard bar adjusted now.
I don't know what happened up there in turn 4. Let's take a look at it.
A lot of cars there trying to get in the same place at the same time, I think, Bob. And
Schrader just makes some contact, and looks like the 87 car might have run in the back of Lake Speed.
Derek Cope is pitting. John, he's to you.
It'll be a 4-tire change for Derek Cope. They go to work on the right side. This will take them all the way to the finish, 137 laps. We thought Dale Jarrett might fit, but they may wait a little bit longer. Cope's crew come around to the left side. Tires being yanked off. Not a lot of room here on pit road in Bristol. And now let's go down to Jerry Punch and Dale Earnhardt finish. Cope leads.
Well, this caution was a break for Earnhardt. He was going to have to pit the next 3 or 4 laps. He just radioed the crew, said, I smell oil in the car, and I'm smelling oil back in the cockpit. And we saw the car getting heavy and heavier as far as the smoking is concerned. Have a number of people. They have taped the front of the car, and they're trying to keep them losing a lap, but I got to believe they'll come back in. They have different fittings on the car, and we'll go over and see if we can kind of eavesdrop and see exactly what the damage was. While we have it, Richard, how bad is the car hurt? Richard talking to a driver, and he comes by. He's talking to Dale Earnhardt, who wants to come back in and have the car look out once again.
Well, Dale has had a dilemma of recent times in finishing 20th or worst only 4 times in 93, 4 times in 94. In the first 21 races of this year, he has finished 7 times below 20th. Jerry?
As we expected, he has come back in, and they will change right side tires. Concerned about the right front tire rubbing somewhat on the car, and they are told it's going to go green next time by. Let me ask Andy. Andy Petrie, what what was the problem with the car?
We got a little oil cooler up front, and looked like it busted it when that 12 car didn't get started there.
So now he's on the phone, headphones with his driver. They think they have it crimped off, and they have bypassed that oil cooler, so we're going to have green next time by.
Now, Ken Schrader's roof cam and this incident.
See, he bumped the 37 car there. He's driving ready around, about ready to go back racing.
We've had 15 lead changes tonight. That breaks the previous record set in 1988 of 13. Sports Center will be coming up at the conclusion of this event. We got started late because of rain, and we've got about 135 laps to go. Dale Jarrett is the leader of the race as they get the green. Now, that may sound like a lot of laps, but those will go by very, very quickly if we stay green.
Jarrett has talked about a loose race car. He did not pit. A little surprising, but I don't know, maybe it's a threat of rain or something, because after Cook went in, at that time, Cook was the only one in front of him, so maybe they figured they could outrun everybody else.
Bobby Labonte goes to the outside of Joe Nemechek. Now Jeremy Mayfield is up there, and Jimmy Spencer is also. Jarrett continues to hang on to the lead. Rusty Wall is there second behind Dale, but he is getting laps now. Darrell Waltrip is second. Terry Labonte third, and then Jeff Bodine, who has moved up to fourth. Bobby Labonte fifth. We've had 92 laps under the caution and 277 under the green so far in this event. Jeff Gordon still has led the most laps, 86. He's back in 8th position. Dale Earnhardt has led 81. Mark Martin, 57. Jeremy Mayfield led 55. And Dale Jarrett has just led his 38th lap.
There's still 17 cars on the lead lap. It's amazing with all the bang-ups we've had here tonight.
Ken Schrader is in a whole bunch of traffic. That's Nemechek to his left. Derek Pope up ahead. Schrader running 11.
Oh, and Spencer has crashed over in turn 4, and
everybody's going to miss him.
Everybody's going to miss him, and the caution flag waved once again.
Well, the race record for cautions was 14, or is 14, set back in 1988. And that one ties it.
Well, Rusty got a lap back.
Yep. Now he's only 46 behind.
Exactly.
We have tied the previous record for cautions. This is the 14th. Here's the replay.
There we see Spencer on the outside of Ted Musgrave. Looks like he went a corner a little bit too hard, Ned, on the outside.
His outside wheels probably got into loose stuff there just a little bit. Spun him around. If there was any contact between him and Musgrave, it was not very much. They were side by side.
Everybody got checked up and through there okay. He was the only car involved. Sterling Marlin is on pit road. Dale Earnhardt also comes in, as does Michael Waltrip. Earnhardt is still on the lead lap.
So is Waltrip.
Yeah, so is Waltrip. Sterling Marlin is still on the lead lap. All three of those cars currently on pit road getting service. That's Rusty Wallace also coming in. And now Marlin moves away. So those cars will be falling in at the tail of the field for the restart when we come back to Bristol.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing from 1948 to 1998.
Bob Jenkins and Benny Parsons back at Daytona, USA. We're hosting the NASCAR Marathon, the second of our 2 marathons for you on ESPN2. And we are watching the Goodies 500 from Bristol from August of 1995. And still, Benny, at this point, the story is Dale Earnhardt. He's going to drop back a little bit more because the car is smoking, but the race isn't over yet.
And he has to start back at the back of the field once again. How tough is this? He's already started at the back, worked his way to the front, and now we'll have to go back to the end of the line once again. But now there's some cars that have been lapped, so it's not like he has to pass all 30 cars. At least he's be able to pass some of those lapped cars easily.
But he's going to make a run to the front. Will he be able to win? Here are the closing laps of the Goody's 500 from August of 1995.
ESPN Speed World is live tonight at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee for the running of the Goody's 500, the 22nd race of the 95 season out of 31. They're lining up for the restart, which we will get on lap number 379. Dale Jarrett continues to lead, followed by Darrell Waltrip, Terry Labonte, Jeff Bodine, and Bobby Labonte.
Ted Musgrave is 6th, Jeff Gordon is 7th, Mark Martin back up to 8th now.
Mike Wallace has stayed on the lead lap.
Yeah, he's 9th place, running good. Derek Cope back up to 10th after his pit stop on the last caution.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. They're from Kalamazoo, Michigan. How about that?
Talking to 5 or 6 fellows last night from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
Up the road from Kalamazoo last night as I was leaving.
Butch Miller country, you know? Yep. Here's the green.
Outside of Morgan Shepherd. With Mark Martin. And Derek Cope. Boy, Derek Cope has really had a good run in that 12-car today.
Yes, he has. That car is good. He's doing a good job of driving. He's got 4 fresh tires on it, too.
17 cars are on the lead lap. Burton's debut in the 22 car will result in a 34th place finish. He'll be looking for better results next weekend at Darlington, and Ward has signed on with that team for all of 1996. Here's Dale Earnhardt, Ken Schrader, Sterling Marlin, Michael Waltrip.
What you get hung on the outside, they just all go by. There goes Steve Bristol by the 29 car, the Meineke car.
Schrader hung on the outside. Here comes Rich Bickle in the 40 car. Look how close the competition is. Hey, second place
right here, too.
Terry Labonte is right up on the back bumper of Darrell Waltrip.
Mark Martin looks like, and Mark Martin will take that spot away, and 24 car Jeff Gordon.
Yeah. Musgrave lost a couple of positions there.
You see Lake Speed and Mike Wallace there. Dale Earnhardt still smoking, but he has been able to get by the 8 car, Jeff Burton.
Taken second from Darrell Waltrip. Terry Labonte, that is. His brother is also in the top 5, and Lake Speed crashes, and Michael Waltrip just escapes being involved with the incident.
And Lake is not going to be lapped. He gets the car in gear and drives away. Here comes the leader.
Got some damage, though, to the left rear of that number 9 machine.
Yeah, we see the smoke coming out of the back of it where the sheet metal is rubbing the left front tire and the left rear.
Yep. Span Ford will be headed for the pit area. Well, that sets the record for cautions.
Does it really?
Yep. 14 was the record set back in 1988 for this particular event.
Now, will they pit? Nope.
No.
Staying out there.
Well, they've had every opportunity in the world, haven't they?
They've had plenty of opportunities, so I guess they just don't want to pit.
Ted Musgrave decided to pit.
He relinquishes his 8th position, but he is the only one of the top 10, and in fact the only one of those on the lead lap to make a pit stop. Ted Musgrave getting 4 new tires, it would appear. Here's the replay as to what happened to Lake Speed.
Well, gets a little bump back there from Dale Earnhardt.
Look how close Michael Waltrip came from being involved. And from Dale Earnhardt's roof cam.
Lake slows down to keep from hitting Gordon Shepard, I believe. And Earnhardt comes in there and...
Uh-oh, now he's got a fire. The left front tire looks like has a broken oil line. What happened? They broke an oil line on the car.
Look, there's fire in the... No, those are, yeah, I thought those were flames, the way he was trying to get out of the car, but they were just the caution lights reflecting off the car. Anyway, Lake got out of there pretty quickly. He may need some medical attention. Now, it looks like there is a small fire under there. In any case, Lake Speed may be out of this race. We'll be right back. Dale Earnhardt is back on pit road on this caution period.
Trying to get some air to the radiator so that the car will run a little bit cooler. I'm sure that's what they're trying to do.
Meanwhile, the 9 car of Lake Speed is being towed off. I think we can pretty much count him out of the race. Earlier, this was the scene. Look at the oil gushing out of the left front of this car.
That's oil, but right in front of the tire. When he had the damage up in the left front, he's cut an oil line. There's an oil cooler up there. He's cut a line, and watch the oil coming out of that car. And we see Lake Speed going in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah.
Jerry, what's going on?
Well, we saw that oil come gushing out beneath the car. Apparently, the oil caught fire, and the fire actually bloomed inside the car, and Lake was inhaling all that smoke from the oil fire. Now, I went down there just a moment ago and talked to Lake, who was laying on the ground, and he has basically a smoke inhalation problem. They're going to load him in the ambulance and take him to the care center. I can also update you on Dale Earnhardt's car, Goodrich Chevrolet, which is back on pit road. Earnhardt's reporting that the oil temperature is over 280 degrees and rising. Remember, they had to cap off that oil cooler in the front that was ruptured in that incident with Derek Cope, so they're a little bit concerned about the oil temperature getting hotter and hotter.
While we have a chance here, let's say hello to G.C. Spencer, former driver, former car owner who lives in this area. G.C. was in the hospital. He's home now, but G.C., we certainly want to wish you the best. Hope everything goes well. And also say hello to Bobby Scruggs, former NASCAR official, Busch Grand National official. And Bobby was here yesterday, I believe, and it's good to see him.
There's that oil that caught fire there.
Man, oh man, that thing really... No wonder he stopped so suddenly down there and got out.
No kidding.
Blame him a bit. You know, and they're talking about Keith Sawyer, a young man who builds engines for transmissions and gears for Darrell Waltrip, is in the hospital. And Bowman Gray, I hear he's been transferred up to Winston-Salem to Bowman Gray. And I would think, Keith, you're in mighty good hands up there. Hope you're watching tonight. And hope to see you soon.
Yeah, hope he gets out of there real soon.
They're using tape on these Goodrich Chevrolets.
We are under our 14th caution of the evening, 15th make that. Let's take a break and come back in just a moment. Ken Schrader drove through the most recent incident. And Jerry has an update on Dale Earnhardt.
Let me correct something. What they did cap off was the valve spring cooler, the valve spring cooling system that goes to the valve spring. They are trying to get air to the oil cooler. That's why the oil temperature is so high. Green flag.
100 laps to go. 400 complete. The record for the most caution laps in this race, 105. We have completed. We just completed our 105th. This is the time in that category also. In addition to it being a rain-delayed race, it has been a very slow race in terms of number of caution flags and laps.
The rain didn't have anything to do with the wet track. Just
Dale Jarrett leading. Terry Labonte second. And Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Bodine, and Bobby Labonte. Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Eric Cope.
still a little surprising that the leaders didn't stop on this last caution. They could certainly go the rest of the way, but maybe they want to try to get near the end of the race so they'd have fresh tires towards the end.
Dale Jarrett has led 70 laps. His lowest during the race has been 20th. His best finish here in the Goody's 500 was in 1990, where he finished 7th.
And Terry Labonte has closed up right on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, he's working on it. I think Terry has a faster car right now.
Won at Richmond and Pocono. Jarrett won the second Pocono race. They battled for the lead here in the closing laps at Bristol.
There goes Terry Labonte. He has a run, I thought. Oh, and Musgrave spins coming off turn 4. Turning right now. Now put in gear. Go. No caution flag.
Well, Benny guided him through that one. There is no caution. Didn't lose a lap either.
Let's see what happened to Ted. You ever see the 4-car Sterling Marlin in the 8? Oh, a little bit. Oh, Sterling Marlin. What a job he did. Oh, I see what happened.
Yep.
He was trying to dodge the wreck. He became the wreck.
Yeah, they were all jammed up all around him.
There's a timely description of that incident.
Now, Steve Grissom is stopped coming down the back straightaway. No, he's moving again.
Got to stay up.
He hit the wall coming off, too.
Stay up because cars are still coming by on the inside. Here comes the leaders.
4 tires, guys, 4 tires.
Turn left, quick. Don't go left. Man,
it's hard to get down.
That was his best opportunity.
Yeah, what's he going to get down again? Meanwhile, this is still going on, the race for the lead. 28 car is Dale Jarrett, and the 5 is Terry Labonte.
It's now a minute past midnight Eastern time. We have run into Sunday morning here on this race that was supposed to have started at 7:30 Saturday night, but didn't because of rain.
Steve Grissom finally did make it to the bottom of the racetrack and to the pit.
And again, SportsCenter will be on immediately following this event. Linda Cohn and Craig Kilborn will have all the news from the sports world. Now Jarrett opens up a little bit of daylight.
Well, when they lapped 37 of John Andretti, Jarrett got by before he got to the turn, and Labonte did not. And so that gave Dale a little bit of an advantage.
Here's another field summary for you. Sponsored by Autolite.
Mike Wallace back in 9 started 27th.
are some drops of moisture once again being felt.
81 laps to go.
Well, just go ahead and rain. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true father.
And we can see the raindrops there. I tell you what, if they throw the caution flag for rain, this baby is over.
Here's the battle for third position. Darrell Waltrip and Jeff Bodine.
Darrell in the 17, Jeff Bodine in the 7. Both these guys need a good run.
Well, the body feels that rain, and he is working on Jarrett's back bumper.
And Dale Jarrett has now led more laps than any other. He has led 88 so far. Jeff Gordon, 86. So he's looking for another 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. Dale Jarrett is.
He's never done that in his career.
Is that right?
Yep.
How about that? Oh, and John Andretti takes Dave Marcus into the wall in turn 4, but everybody keeps going.
And no caution flag, but Marcus is slow, very slow. Now he gets off the racetrack. We can see he's got some pretty serious damage to that right front.
Here it is again in turn 4. Just too many cars for not enough space.
There we see Andretti. That's a 37 car. And there is Marcus, and he starts to go by on the outside, and they make contact, and you're right. Up in the wall went Dave Marcus.
And Jeff Gordon got by Bobby Labonte as Rick Mast has it flat.
Left front tire is flat. He can't get to the bottom of the racetrack, kind of like the 29 car a little bit ago. Now he finally does. Now the leaders have caught Bill Elliott, and they're able to get by. 73 laps to go. Dale Jarrett slipped up just a little bit. Terry Labonte is going to be right by him.
He's looked under him a time or two. Jarrett's car is not getting off the corners as good as Terry Labonte's is right now. Getting into the corners okay, and through the center, but getting off is where Labonte is beating.
Bobby Labonte and Derek Cope are having their own little battle. Going to the inside of Bill Elliott. Bill lets him pass by, and this is the battle for 7th spot.
As we watch this, Kenny Schrader has made a pit stop. He is in the pits on the back straightaway in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Oh, you're going Labonte! No!
Here's the interval between 1st and 5th. Jarrett and Gordon reduced from 2.9 to 2.1 during laps 4, 23 to 4,
Labonte's got it.
And now Terry Labonte takes the lead from Dale Jarrett. And Jarrett is reporting that his car is now loose.
It's very obvious the car is very loose coming off the turns.
There is Jeff Gordon, the current points leader, with Jeff Bodine. Bodine now is in 4th position. And Jeff moves to the inside of him. By the way, this is the first time tonight that Terry Labonte has led the race. We have had 10 different leaders and 16 lead changes.
Rusty Wallace, the Miller Genuine Draft Ford, who usually runs so well in these short tracks, has spun a couple of times tonight. One time had some pretty serious damage. Spent about 47, 48 laps repairing his car. That's why they were not talking about Rusty Wallace, because his car is running pretty well right now. He's been so many laps down.
Terry Labonte is certainly turning his Goody's 500 performances around. Listen to these finishes in the last 3 Goody's 500s in 92 31st, 93 34th, and 94 33rd. Terry Labonte leads at the end of 4:35.
NASCAR, celebrating 50 years in auto racing, from 1948 to 1998.
Terry Labonte leads the Goodies 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race at Bristol, Tennessee, and the rain is beginning to come down just a little bit harder now. Labonte first, Dale Jarrett second, and Darrell Waltrip is third. Leaders approach slower traffic. That's Bobby Hamilton just ahead, along with Michael Waltrip. Michael is still on the lead lap in 14th.
14 cars on the lead lap because Michael Waltrip will be the last car on the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton.
Jarrett thought he had a chance there, but
well, Jarrett is not letting Labonte get away now. He's closed back up. A lot has to do with traffic, though.
Yeah.
As while this has been going on, Dale Earnhardt has quietly moved back up to 7th spot in the Good Race Chevrolet.
He's about not quite a half a lap behind the leaders.
There's Earnhardt. He's been able to pass Cope and Bobby Labonte, Mike Wallace. Has gone away anyway.
Yep.
Labonte having a little trouble getting around Michael Waltrip up there as we watch this battle between Earnhardt here. So now Terry gets on the gets the nose up there almost, but he didn't quite do it.
Slow car in the high groove coming into 4.
About that slow car that here in the Mayfield.
He is very slow. Meanwhile, Labonte's still trying to get by Michael Waltrip.
Yep, he can put him a lap
There's
down.
a hole. Low side.
Now the hole opened up just momentarily, but Terry Labonte could not take advantage of it.
And look at Darrell Waltrip right on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, he called him when they ran up on the 30 car. Maybe Michael says, hey, I'll help my brother out here. Catch up to those guys a little bit. Because Michael's really trying to stay on the lead lap. As soon as these raindrops falling, there might be a caution on the lead lap.
So it's a 3-car battle. Labonte, Jarrett, Darrell Waltrip. Now Labonte has lapped Michael Waltrip.
28 behind him, too. 28 to 17 after the 17.
That's Michael Waltrip's spotter.
Darrell Waltrip is going in the corner and drifting a little bit higher than these fellas.
He, you know, his style here has been to sort of diamond these turns, Benny, and sort of go up and let it drift up a little bit and then come back down.
Looking for Bobby Labonte. There he is, along with Mike Wallace, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Burton, along with Derek Cope and Morgan Shepherd.
The first 5 cars on the racing position, aren't they?
Yep, Shepherd is the only one that isn't racing with them. Shepherd is 4 laps down in 17th. Bobby Labonte in 8th.
With 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
To go, 47 as a matter of fact.
Leader, there he is, and he's opened up a little bit of advantage now on Dale Jarrett.
And Darrell is, you know, right now he's not letting that car drift up as much in the corner because he's trying to make up some ground on the 28 car. I think he lets the car go up there like that and cool the tires a little bit.
He attributes his success here at Bristol, among other things, to racing at Salem, Indiana, where around the area where he grew up in Owensboro, he raced at Salem, which is a high-banked half-mile track. He says that's one of the reasons why he's been so successful here.
I used to race at Salem, Indiana.
Yeah, I figured you did.
Oh, there's bank steepness.
Well, and Bobby Labonte is high up in turns 1 and 2. They're not quite as high as these, Ned, but the groove was right at the top of the racetrack at Salem, Indiana. Right on the top of the racetrack. There we see Labonte has lost 2 spots. Yep. to Mike Wallace and Sterling Marlin.
And here's how it happened.
Oh, he goes high. Mike Wallace comes by. Sterling Marlin comes by.
Sterling Marlin is able to get around Mike Wallace in the Heilig Myers car. Take that spot away.
That moves Sterling to 8th. Mike Wallace is 9th. Bobby Labonte is 11th.
Now then, Darrell Waltrip has fallen back from the 28 car of Dale Jarrett. There's our leader, Terry Labonte, the 5 car, the Kellogg's car. There's second, there's third place. And Darrell has fallen back in the clutches of Jeff Bodine in the 7 and the 24 of Jeff Gordon.
I guess the question is, do all of these cars that did it like 322, 178 to go, do they have enough fuel to go the rest of the way? I guess they figure they do that. They know more about it than I do. So, because like I said earlier, all of them had plenty of opportunities to pit. Now we know Derek Cope, no problem with he or Sterling Marlin because they have pitted systems. Earnhardt has.
Jeff Bodine started 13th. He's been as low as 31st. He is currently in 4th. There is Jeff Gordon right behind Jeff Bodine. And here is Dale Earnhardt.
They certainly fixed that oil problem. The smoke has gone away.
He's moved up 7 positions in the last 80 laps or so.
Dale Jarrett and Joe Nemechek got together off turn 4, and Nemechek almost won out.
Yeah, Jarrett started to go on the inside, I think, and Nemechek was going to move down to give him room to go on the outside, and they got together a little bit.
Terry Labonte won this race in 1984, continues to lead. Let's take a look at what Dale Jarrett almost encountered coming off 4.
See there, he started to try to go on the inside of Nemechek, and Nemechek was going down to let him go by on the outside. And it all worked out okay. A little scary moment for dads and people like that. Even Finney got excited about it.
And Dale Jarrett.
Yeah.
Earnhardt is closing the gap on Terry Labonte. Earnhardt back in 7th position. He's cut the interval 0.6 of a second. Here is Dale. I think we see some pieces of rubber bouncing around on the track, don't we?
Well, there's a piece of metal there.
A piece of metal.
Yeah, that's going in turn 3, looks like.
Yeah.
You know, which I said a good while ago that Earnhardt was almost a half a lap behind the leader. Well, he definitely has closed that in quite a bit.
That's turn 1. I'm sorry, that's the bridge down in turn 1. And there we see Earnhardt is right behind Mark Martin, the Valvoline car. And he's going to the inside and going by Mark Martin.
Yes, he is. That moves him to 6th. Earnhardt up to 6th with 31 laps to go. Just ahead of him is Jeff Gordon. Just 30 laps to go in this 500-lap event here at Bristol International Raceway. We'll be back in just a moment. Terry Labonte leads here at Bristol with just a few laps remaining. Dale Earnhardt, though, is on the move once again, and this guy just never gives up. He's about to take 4th.
He's currently 4th.
Yeah, he's about to take 3rd from Darrell Waltrip, and he will do so.
As quick as you can say he's 3rd, he's 3rd. Oh, man. But now he has tires. We talk about tires. His tires are much fresher than Labonte's and Dale Jarrett's and Darrell Waltrip's, all these guys.
I don't think, however, he has enough time to close in the interval between himself and the leader. You guys?
I don't know. I'm not going to say he's not.
Michael Waltrip comes in the Pennzoil Pontiac. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
Well,
Well, the Pennzoil Pontiac getting the right side tires. Obviously, they came in and wanted to top off in fuel, but no real concern here in the Terry Labonte pit. The Kellogg Chevrolet should have plenty of fuel to go all the way. Hey, the big concern by Gary Dehart is that this race car's history has been terrible. They have raced it twice in 95, and they have wrecked it both times. Maybe tonight will change their luck. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jerry, up here in Dale Jarrett's pit, just talked to Larry, the Colonel's his crew chief. He says we are fine on fuel. That is no problem. The only thing is the car has been just a little bit loose for Dale. Let's go to the back pits and go left.
Well, Darrell Waltrip had a great run going. He does have enough fuel to get to the end, but his car has tightened up a bit. He wanted to commit for tires early, but his crew said we were better on long runs, but not this long, apparently. He will make it to the end on fuel, but his tires are going away. A quick call to Bobby Labonte. That's been a science project tonight. Every time I talk to Jimmy Makar, he says we're decent or we're getting better. They wanted one more stop. They may have to pit under green. They're not sure they can make it on fuel. Of course, they weren't sure about that last week either, guys.
And of course they made it because Bobby Labonte won the race. The interval between Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt, the leader back to third, is 2.6 seconds.
And I'm not sure that Dale Jarrett isn't gaining on Terry Labonte right now.
Yeah, I think it's sort of how they catch traffic. They're running about the same lap speeds. Earnhardt's running a little bit faster than either one of them.
Earnhardt just motors by this traffic with ease down on the third and fourth turns.
And there we see Dale Jarrett, the next car right in front of Dale Earnhardt.
Stay tuned now for SportsCenter. It's coming up in 16 laps. That isn't very long. They run almost 4 laps a minute here. Second place, Dale Jarrett. Now sees Dale Earnhardt in his rear view mirror.
The leader coming up on some heavy traffic. His brother, for one. Bobby is running in 13th position.
I'll tell you what, it all depends on how much trouble Earnhardt has with Dale Jarrett.
I don't think he'll have a lot of trouble with him because Earnhardt's getting off the corner so much better than Jarrett is, and he'll be able to drive right under him coming off the turn.
This has just been an amazing run for Dale Earnhardt tonight, and I take back what I said a few minutes ago. I think he can.
Moved into second place.
On 2 different occasions, he has come from near the back of the field through traffic to battle up front. Now the interval is less than 2 seconds.
And he's got 12 laps to do it.
Yep.
Man.
Terry has put a couple of cars between he and Earnhardt, and his brother's one of them. So, you know, said, brother, help me out a little bit here. Keep that free car back there just as much as you can.
It's down to 1.6 seconds. He has chopped off a full second in the last 3-4 laps. Now there are 10 circuits to go. Terry Labonte, your leader, but Dale Earnhardt is closing in. It's 1.5 seconds.
And he didn't have any trouble passing Terry's brother. Ted Musgrave goes high. Cars go by.
Earnhardt now has a couple of cars to pass. Here's a battle for position between Darrell Waltrip and Mark Martin in fourth.
And Musgrave is very, very slow in the Family Channel car.
Musgrave in 11th.
There's the leader, Terry Labonte. 8 laps to go. We see it's 1.6 seconds.
And Musgrave's in the pits. Must have had a flat.
7 to go, and now Earnhardt continues to reel him in.
No traffic now, nothing between them. And a good bit of space in front of Terry before he catches anybody else.
Musgrave is back out, by the way. There he is on your left. Well, the interval isn't closing up now as much as it used to. As much as it was earlier, it's still a 1.5 second advantage of Terry over Dale Earnhardt.
Under 5 laps to go.
seconds. But the laps are winding down. Earnhardt easily to the inside of Brett Bodine.
Terry Labonte's going to run across some slow cars. But Jeff Burton and Mike Wallace, if they hold him up at all, Earnhardt will catch him. There's the two slow cars, Mike Wallace and Jeff Burton, and they're racing for position, I believe. Yes, they are. 1 second.
Mike Wallace is 9th. Jeff Burton is 10th. They're still on the lead lap.
2 laps to go. Labonte comes up on Burton and Wallace. He'll get the white flag this time around. There's Earnhardt lurking in second position off of corner 4. Terry Labonte gets the white flag, but still has this traffic to contend with.
Jeff Bodine had to come in for a splash of gas. Or a flat tire or something.
Now let's see. They're down to 4 or 5 car lengths.
And a slow car right around Earnhardt. He's right on his back bumper.
Let's see what strategy he pulls. Oh, Labonte is sideways but wins the race. Crashes and he wins anyway. How about that? Whoa! Labonte crossed the line sideways, took the checkered flag, hit the wall, and still comes out the winner of the Goodies 500 over Dale Earnhardt. How about that?
Well, only a pitting ending to the night.
That's exactly right. Been a long night for everybody, including these race drivers and the fans who have stuck with the race from the rain to the end. And here is the final corner.
I think Earnhardt gave him just a little bit of a tap, then backed off and let him tried to let him get straightened out, but it's too far gone.
Man, oh man.
What a night. Look at this victory lane. Here's Dr. Punch.
Unbelievable. We told you at the top of the show that what was left of the remnants of a 3,400-pound stock car would come to victory lane. We didn't exactly mean that this was one. I mean, someone has knocked the cornflakes out of this Chevy as they get the window net down in here talking to Terry Labonte. Let's jump in here beside Terry while he's trying to get... Man, I tell you, what a finish, Terry. What a finish. Congratulations on a great effort.
That was a finish, wasn't it? Oh, I'll tell you, our Kellogg Chevy ran great all night there, and lap cars, you know, were running side by side, racing each other at the end, and Dale caught me and gave me a little shot in the back there, and I just stood in the gas, and, you know, we beat him across the line. But it was a good run for us. All the guys in the Kellogg Chevy did a great job, and I just can't say enough about all our sponsors, Kellogg's, GMAC, Valvoline. Got to say hi to Rick. I think I used up a race car, but we'll get another one.
Let me let you jump out of the car here, Terry. Take a look at what's left of the front of this car. Walk around to the front here. We'll let you walk around to the front here, Terry, and take a look. I mean, this car was looked like it was going to come away pretty well unscathed, but now it looks like you sprung a leak there in the front. Terry, did Gary Dehart and the guys, I guess the last couple laps, let you know how close Earnhardt was?
Well, I saw him in the mirror, you know, and he had a little bit fresher tires than I did, but, you know, the lap cars are what got us. He couldn't have caught us, I don't believe. He was coming, but he didn't have enough time to get there without the traffic. And I think I ran all night long, didn't put a scratch in until the end, but then we wiped it out. But that's the way it goes. We won.
Well, the streak remains intact. Remember what Gary Dehart said. They had raced it twice. They had wrecked it twice. Well, now they've raced it 3 times and wrecked it 3 times, but they wrecked it on the way to victory lane. Bob?
7th short track win of his 16 total, the 2nd short track victory for Terry Labonte here in '95. He also won at Richmond, and the 17th time that Chevy has driven the victory lane in 1995. We'll show you the unofficial full field rundown. 8 cars unofficially on the lead lap at the end of the event. What an ending, huh?
Man, oh man, what an ending. Wow. Great race.
Wild night here at Bristol.
So Terry Labonte is the winner. Let's take a look at the quest for the Cup standings. Nobody changed position in the top 10 and the top 5. There was 1 position change in the top 10. Morgan Shepherd moved into 10th, knocking Bill Elliott down. Sports Center is coming up next. Thank you for joining us. For Benny Parsons, Ned Sherritt, Bill Weber, Jerry Punch, and John Kernan, this is Bob Jenkins. Thank you for joining us at Bristol International Raceway. For now, so long, everyone.